Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
You're set.
All right.
Welcome, man.
Hey, thank you, man. I'm glad I got the opportunity to come here. This was a complete hit out of left field for me.
Was it?
To hear from you. I mean, I know we stayed in touch and everything, and I knew you were doing your thing, and a couple times here and there I've, hit you up and said, congrats on what you're doing in LA, you're killing it and blah, blah, blah. But then I got the random text of, hey, you want to be on a podcast I'm doing? I'm like, man, I've never done it. I watched so many of them, but it's like, I was like, man, I never thought I'd actually be on a podcast. And then to have you actually hit me up and to make it happen, even though it's the tundra outside right now, we got 14 inches of snow coming our way. But yeah, man, I'm just glad to be here. It's gonna get nasty tonight. Yeah, they're saying storm warnings, but yeah, it's awesome, man.
First of all, I appreciate that. I'm really happy to have you. That's the thing is, when I was thinking about doing this and who I'd want to reach out to first, in my mind, obviously, I'm thinking, I basically kind of want to make it about them. So I don't know why they wouldn't do it, but you never know what people are going to say or if they want to do it or not.
Yeah, I'm too busy, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're not too busy. You just don't care.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't work out, I had some people who said they want to do it, but it's just not going to work out at the time when it would work out for me, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
So I tell them, I'd love to have you on no matter what in the future.
Yeah.
It's no stress. Like even today, there's no right, like I was saying before, there's no, in my mind, wrong way of doing it. Whatever we talk about is what we talk about.
Yeah,
and
dude, we're not playing Jeopardy, man. We're having a conversation. That's
exactly.
all it is.
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's easy enough.
And so super happy to have you on. Michael Zanotti here for anybody listening who does not know or is not watching on video. Yeah, man. So you are killing it here.
Trying to stay as positive as I can. Yeah, it's I tell you what, man, the fitness industry in Minnesota, it's tough. It's tough because we don't deal with the same type of, good weather and good positivity that you would see in the coast
100%.
Or on the coast, rather, in California or whether it's Florida. A lot of those super warm, happy areas, it's easy to do a fit. Or Arizona, for example, is perfect. I have a lot of buddies in Arizona that are killing it right now, and those places are just so ideal because you're dealing with a state that doesn't really get cold. For us here in Minnesota, it's tough because 9 months of the year we're dealing with snow. Whether it's I can't get to the gym today, I can't do this, the roads are just so bad, blah blah blah, whatever it is, it's just tough, man. And the seasonal depression aspect of it too, it's like it's hard to keep that positive, like, hey, I'm gonna go get after it today when it's a day like today. Like today after this podcast, I still have to find time to go train. So it's not always ideal, but I try to stay as positive as I can. And I'm fortunate enough to have people that reach out to me on a constant basis, yourself and people that I've known for a couple years now that give me that positive reinforcement of, hey man, I look at your stuff here from time to time, and it motivates the shit out of me. For sure. So little things like that, it makes my day. And, I can hear it all day long from these people that I don't really know, but when you hear from somebody that personally and that you've hung out with or, partied with back in the day, it means so much more to have that come from them because they know your process. They know where you were, where you're at now. So it's so much more genuine. Yeah,
because they can see your full growth.
100%.
They're kind of not just nothing wrong with discovering you at wherever you're at and appreciating, say where you're at if they're interested in fitness. But yeah, if someone who's known you for years and seen you never be involved in it to where whatever the industry is for you, fitness, seeing you progress to where you're at, that is a good point.
Yeah, it's especially people that know you, for that have known me since I was a kid. I was big in smoking weed back in high school and, middle school. I wasn't that guy that was going to really amount to anything.
Yeah.
I loved making people laugh. That's always been a part of me, is the whole, the comedy thing. I've always loved making people laugh. That's always been what I like to do. So people never took it serious. I wasn't a guy that got good grades by any means. So I kind of was that guy that was going to amount to like, he'll work, a 9 to 5. He'll do this, he'll do that. And
be like a trade job.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I'm super good at mechanics. So that's where I saw myself too, was I'll just be a mechanic. Don't get me wrong. They make good money.
Yeah, exactly.
But
especially now more and more, probably because there's less and less people.
Exactly. But for me, it was like, I went to college. I went for law enforcement. I was originally going to go to be a cop. It's just not a good day and age to be a cop. So, you know, for personal reasons and due to, you know, kind of a mindset change, I was like, you know, let's do something else. So then I got into the fitness thing, and dude, it's just been a roller coaster since then, for the good. But yeah, it's, you know, I left college 2 years in and just said, screw this, I'm going to pursue bodybuilding.
Were you going to was it a 4-year degree that you had to do for law enforcement?
Yeah, man, I was going to St. Cloud. I was going to St. Cloud State. I was actually going for athletic training. Okay. So I was originally going, I knew I wanted to be in the fitness world at that point. If I back up to, you know, I was going to Alexandria, law enforcement. That's where it started. And I maybe have 1 semester left before I could, you know, become a police officer if I ever wanted to do that. But it just wasn't there for me, man. I was waking up and learning all these things, you know, criminal code, you know, Minnesota justice systems, all that stuff, and it wasn't intriguing to me. And it's actually funny because I ended up watching, that's when I really got into podcasts too. So I started listening to all these podcasts, and these people would talk, and these successful, you know, billionaires would sit there and talk, and they'd be like, you know, I didn't go to college, you know, I didn't give into the cliche. And for me, it hit me pretty hard, because I'm like, I'm going to college because I was told I have to go to college. I'm not going because I wanted to, you know. And that was kind of the thing that we learned when we were in high school, is like, if you don't go to college, you're not going to amount to anything.
They definitely make it feel like that.
Yeah, and I feel like part of it, you know, whether you want to call it a conspiracy or not, I think that's part of the process for them, is they want to get you to spend all this money and get this degree, when I know a lot of people that are making way more money than me right now. They didn't even go to college.
Yeah, and they're not in debt.
Like we were just saying, these mechanics, trades jobs, stuff like that, these people that just left, they're making great money. Electricians, plumbers, I mean, they're making 6 figures.
Yeah, my uncle's an electrician, does very well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's been doing it a while, but yeah, he does very well.
So that's kind of what hit it for me, is I was like, I am doing this because someone told me I had to do it. And, you know, I don't like this anymore. So, yeah, I switched it over to personal training. Like it was called health and wellness when I went to Alexandria. So I started there. I didn't like that. I was like, no, I want a 4-year. So I went to St. Cloud. And then in St. Cloud, that's when I did my first competition, actually, was at St. Cloud. Did very well.
Was it in St. Cloud?
No, it was in Duluth. I did the Minnesota Mayhem. So I did that show, and actually my first show I did NPC show. So that's the guys that are on gear. You don't get tested. I did that when I was 19. On
gear? Are you talking about steroids?
Steroids, yeah.
Okay, and it's totally acceptable in that competition?
In NPC, yeah. It's I wouldn't say it's acceptable. It's just they
don't bust you.
They don't. It's kind of like it's brushed under the carpet, you know.
Okay.
Like it's there, clearly. You're looking at these guys that are 250 pounds and bone shredded.
Yeah.
You don't get that on just eating kale, you know.
No. The average person, I think, might sometimes have a hard time distinguishing that, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Is even when, you know, when I was, because I'm switching over to the NPC now, and I'm going to start competing in the NPC. But when I was competing in natural federations, I was always getting that, like, oh, dude, you're on gear. Why are you lying to people? It's like, I got no reason to lie. Yeah. I have no reason at all to lie. It's not worth looking like a fool and failing a piss test for me.
That's cool. They call it on gear. I've never heard that.
Yeah, on gear, on roids, on the juice. But yeah, man. So I did I was 19. I did pretty well, but that's when I started physique, and then started going to college. Blah blah blah. Did another show. That was in Duluth. That's when I switched over to the natty scene, because I was like, I don't like going against guys that I know have an advantage. Mm-hmm. To me, it was just not. I was putting myself already at a disadvantage, so I was like,
100%.
Why would I do this? So
100%.
And I looked into natural bodybuilding, and it has like no name. Like you're not going to find yourself dealing with a guy that's, you know, got big name, big sponsorships, like, you know, an Arnold Schwarzenegger type figure. You're not going to find that in natural bodybuilding. So my goal then was, hey, I'm going to be the first guy to make it. You know, I'm going to be the first guy to put natural bodybuilding on the map and give it a face. You know.
So did you feel like it was kind of not the minor leagues, but just not cared about as much and not like paid attention to?
Yeah, man. I would consider it like it was like the rugby of football. If you want to put like the NFL in an umbrella,
yeah.
And you want to put, you know, rugby and, you know, XFL and all this stuff under it. It was kind of like rugby, man. Like great, it gets attention for the people that really do like it.
Yeah, the diehards.
But it's not something that you're gonna flip through channels and be like, oh, you know. Patriots are playing today.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how it was. That's how natural bodybuilding is. You really had to dig to try to find natural bodybuilding and shows and this and that. So it's not talked about a lot, for reasons simply because, you know, if you look at it from a interest standpoint, it's pretty cool to see guys that are just juiced out of their mind and huge.
Yeah.
You don't like looking at a guy that looks like something you could maybe attain if you know, had some discipline and did a couple things. I totally get it from an interest standpoint. It's crazy to see these freak-like creatures on stage. Like that's where the money's at. That's why they're making, you know, $500,000 when they take first place at a show versus, I mean, I did the Natural Olympia and you would make, the winner won $5,000.
Really?
$5,000.
Is that big of a difference?
Yeah.
So there's no, like, I was kind of on the edge of, at a few times, dabbling with bodybuilding. I would work out like I was kind of doing a show or whatever. That's just the type of workouts I would do, but I never ended up doing it. But so there's not like this kind of like respect of the guys who are natural versus the guys who are using.
I think,
I didn't know, but from the outside, I kind of thought maybe that would be a thing. But I had no idea.
It's a pretty mutual respect, man. I mean, when it comes to enhanced athletes, there really is no, like, there's no means to be able to talk any shit to natural bodybuilders. There just really isn't. It's a pretty common respect. The only thing you will see is some guys that are natural and diehard natural athletes, they'll be like, oh, they're, you know, they cheat, they do this, they're, you know, they're enhancing themselves. But honestly,
they kind of shit on the other one.
Yeah, and it's sad, man, because when I grew up watching these guys, I have a lot of buddies, you know, and, you know, that grew up and did the NPC and were on, and, you know, they were working just as hard as I was to do this stuff. So it's not like they're cheating by any means. Yeah, you're taking a supplement that will enhance your body, but you still can't slack on your diet. Yeah. You still have to put in the work and if anything, it makes you have to work harder because you're enhancing your body, so you want to take full advantage of that. If you're not pushing your body to its absolute limits,
it's a waste.
It's a waste. It's an absolute waste.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of misconception with steroids. Maybe anyone who's just not at all involved in fitness or have any knowledge of it. I don't have a ton of knowledge, so definitely do not take lessons from me on steroids. But people thinking that just taking them is going to get you shredded. No, you can't just take them and then it's like protein. You can't just drink protein and then you're not just going to grow. Like, you got to fucking work. You still got to work your ass off, and it's going to help you.
Or even something as simple as creatine, man. Everyone growing up used to think like, oh yeah, I'm going to hop on creatine and put on 15 pounds. Yeah, right on. You're going to put on 15 pounds of water. Good luck. You know, like, what are you going to do with that? You're going to look like you're going to look like a balloon, man.
That's the people who would talk shit too. Like, oh, I took that and I just got fat.
Yeah, but what were you eating?
Exactly.
Were you doing takeout 2 times a day and then going home and having a chicken and rice meal and calling it a good diet?
Yeah.
That's not how it works. You know, bodybuilding is one of those sports where I almost compare it to wrestling in the aspect of it's such an individualized sport. It's you and the competitor, but the only person that's going to determine the outcome of, you know, how you do against these other people is yourself. Like, as a wrestler, it's you versus the other guy across the mat from you. That's it. There's no one to help you. There's no teammates. There's nothing. You have a coach that's going to help you. Yourself. But if you're my coach and you say, hey, today you're going to cut your carbs, you're going to do 30 grams of carbs. That's not a lot of carbs. That's like a cup of rice. You know, so as me, like, my coach isn't watching me the whole day. If I cheat, that's on me. And it's so easy to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people, it's just, they can't do it because they don't have the discipline. They don't have the discipline when someone's not watching them to do what they need to do. Yeah. And then you see it.
In the diet.
You see it. And the diet, dude. The diet's everything. Yeah. The diet is literally everything. If I just cut my carbs by 100 grams, I will lose body fat pretty fast. I don't even need to do cardio. But I also have a fast metabolism. Not everybody's privileged like that. It's a blessing and a curse. Because at the same time, if I have a day where I don't eat a lot, I'll lose 5 pounds. So,
Yeah, man, I was really getting into, right before I moved to LA was probably the biggest, and I wasn't very big, but the biggest I had been putting on. I was intentionally finally paying attention to diet more than I ever had been before, and like
Yep.
intentionally trying to eat as much as I can, and literally staying up 2 or 3 hours past when I wanted to go to sleep at night just to eat more because I hadn't hit my macros for the day or whatever. So diet is fucking huge, and it worked 100%. Like, it's a grind. Did it for like 3 or 4 months, got about just to where I wanted to. I was like half pound short, but then I have fast metabolism too, and I literally stopped eating like that, and like in a week, boom, it like all was gone.
Yep.
And it was just like, fuck. I'd put 4 months. It took me 4 months to kind of get up to this point. Boom, like literally 7 days, it just fell off.
But I mean,
crazy.
granted, muscle memory is a real thing, and if you ever were to get back on that wagon, it would happen faster than the first time. But yeah, it's.
So you think it's hardest that first time to kind of gain weight, bulk up, and then cut back down?
100%.
Is it? Okay.
100%. I'm not saying it gets any easier. I've been trying for the last 2 years now to get to 170, and I finally hit 170. Now I'm at 185, so I'm way over what I wanted to be, which is super cool because I spent pretty much all of my early competition years at like 160 to 165. The most I ever was before my last show was 168. So now I finally just switched over to the NPC. It's whether you want to call it the dark side of the sport, whatever it is, it doesn't change the fact that I
have to work hard.
I still bust my ass, and I've been able to put on I'm up to 185 now, so I've been able to put on 20 pounds of pretty lean mass. I mean, I'm not absolutely peeled. I don't have an 8-pack, but I'm still I look pretty good for what a guy in his off season would look like. But that's the fast metabolism. You'd be the same way. It's some of us are just blessed with good genetics to that point where we can eat anything. And we'll still look pretty good. Yeah.
Did you wrestle growing up?
No.
Because I wrestled for a long time growing up, and I remember when I first got into, I got pulled up to wrestle varsity when I was in 8th grade, and I was literally like 15 pounds under fucking weight. So right before weigh-ins, I'd be eating like a foot long, and everyone's just pissed at me and cranky because they're cutting weight all week.
They're still like, in the sauna with their trash bags on.
Feeling like shit. Just wait another hour till they can finally eat something.
Dude, I wish I would have done wrestling because with how my metabolism is, I would have been able to cut to like 130. Then wrestled, I would have probably been like 155 on the day of the meet. How
big were you in high school?
Dude, I was so small, man. I was like 145.
You're bigger than me.
Tiny. I was tiny. I don't know where the weight was. I really don't. I mean, I started working out like junior year of high school, so I maybe had a little. I thought I was fucking jacked in high school, but I was such a pussy, dude.
Dude, a kid who's 160 in high school but ripped looks kind of big.
Yeah.
Like in football, I remember just our coaches, like other running backs and whatever, the kid would only be like 160. But to us at that time, obviously there's kids who are bigger, but if you're like a muscular high school kid at 160, athletic, like you look like a truck.
Yeah, like John.
Yeah.
John looked like a freak.
And I just talked to him literally yesterday.
Yeah, and he was not. He'd be a cool guy to have on the podcast.
I just had him yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fucking love him.
He's a great guy. Shout out to John.
We were gonna have you come to his place, but I didn't bring my other mics because I had to fly here.
Oh yeah.
Because I got like 2 other mics. I have 4 total, but I only got the one fucking set up here. I didn't want to fly.
Dude,
fly across country.
He's a great guy, man. Every once in a while, we still follow each other on social media too, and he's another one. He'll hit me up and be like, man, it's awesome to watch you progress. I'm like, dude, you're about to be in the NFL. You know how cool it is for you to message me and tell me that what I'm doing is cool? Like, I'm nothing compared to you. So
hey, you're getting there too, bro. You're making your own lane, and you're gonna kill it on your own path.
Yeah. Oh man, you
already are. That's the thing.
Creating this lane with a fucking bulldozer for the last 3 years, and it's going somewhere. But
so how long have you been? What would be the correct way to ask this? On gear.
Dude,
Do I sound really fucking dumb saying it like that?
No, that was a great question. It could have been way worse. How long have you been doing
the drugs?
Doing the steroids? No, man. I got on whatever 20 weeks ago. This week was 20 weeks because I just got off my first cycle.
That'd be 5 months.
Yeah, so about 5 months. Normally you run your first cycle anywhere from 16 to 20 weeks.
16
your
to
first
20
time.
weeks.
I kept it super basic, super low. A lot of guys will start and they'll get on and they'll blast stuff.
Yeah, too
and
much.
These are the guys that get acne all over the place. Their body does not respond well, and you can kind of tell it too because they age really fast too.
Really?
Guys will lose their hair. I've seen everything, man. Guys growing body hair in areas you didn't even know you could grow hair.
Become gorillas.
Yeah, it's you can tell. The biggest thing is the acne thing. That's huge. And some people it's genetic. I know a lot of buddies that aren't taking a lot, but they just naturally had bad acne, and it triggers it a little more because you're adding
like a catalyst.
Because when your body produces more testosterone, whatever. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but whatever that chemical,
it starts it.
It pumps more hormones or whatever it is, makes it shit work faster, and so it's kind of sad. I mean, but
do you see guys like, whether intentionally or unintentionally, like really abusing it and fucking themselves up all the time?
Dude. Yeah, you see it all the time, man, and it's so sad to see because you'll see guys that are my age, 23 years old, and they look 49. So it's man, it's
it's like, bro, I haven't seen you for a month and you aged a decade.
Yeah, you grew up 25 years. What happened? Yeah, it's wild, man. And the thing is too is like you're putting something in your body, so you would think, in an ideal scenario you would be pretty smart about it and do your research. And biggest thing is consulting with doctors. It's amazing how many people don't do it.
Yeah, do they think they're gonna get in trouble or?
But it's like, dude, the doctor's not gonna like snitch on you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to go around talking about it to everybody, but I mean, the thing about that makes me super mad is there's guys out there that are on and they don't talk about it, and they act like they're not, and if asked about it, they're like, oh no, never done that in my life. It's like, dude,
everyone knows.
Come on, man. Like it's becoming a more acceptable thing, but it's like guys will be so much quicker to be like, oh yeah, I just did coke last week, than they are to be like, oh yeah, I did a steroid cycle. So
that's true. I honestly was not expecting you to be so open about that right away. I had no idea. Yeah, obviously I know that's in bodybuilding. I had no idea if you were doing that or not. Yeah. But I think it's awesome that you are.
A lot of people probably, if they didn't know, now they know. When you go from being a natural competitor and you switch to the NPC, you kind of know. And for me, at least, like my buddies that know me well, I didn't even have to tell them. So they're like, bro, 6 weeks ago you were 165 pounds. Now you're 180. Like, you've been trying to do
bro.
You've been trying to do this for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Like,
the fuck?
When did you start juicing? And so it's a given, man. And I don't mind being open. And there's a lot of, like, Seth Feroce, he's a bodybuilder, super open about it.
It probably helps. I would imagine it's like helping you. It's literally, it's just like a lie, bro. You're not continuously having to hide this lie over and over again, especially something that people obviously kind of already probably know, but they're just waiting for you to acknowledge it.
Yeah, dude.
Like those guys, that's just got to be like a monkey on their back until whatever it is that they admit it, or maybe they never do.
Yeah, and honestly, like, that's the thing, man. And what you're talking about with people abusing it, I think that's the people that are a little more self-conscious about it because they just don't want to talk about it. They're on a lot of stuff. But me, I'm on such a minimal, cycle that it's not. I don't really care too much to talk about it. It's not a big deal. If people don't know now, they're gonna know eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people are listening to this so far, but whoever it is, they know now.
Yeah.
But
screw it.
No, it's fucking awesome that you are open about that. And because again, it's literally like fucking, I don't know, sex ed in the 50s or something. Like, if you don't talk about it, people aren't going to know about it. It's going to get not learned. It's not going to be accepted to just learn about it and be the healthiest way to do it. Like, people are going to do it regardless, and unless it was banned or something, maybe people would still probably try to fucking do it.
And the thing is too, man, like, these guys that are big influencers that do talk about it, it's super helpful for up and coming guys to listen to that and be like, okay, so this is what he's saying. He's been doing this for 20 years. This is a firsthand source versus the guys that don't talk about it and they're just like, oh yeah, you gotta take this mass gainer over here. This stuff's good. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man.
That is one thing I don't like about the whole fitness industry is the acting like some dude is already yoked, whatever, and then he just gets signed on some product that he never takes, never uses, doesn't even believe in, and they're trying to promote it. And I know they're just getting paid for it, so it's probably hard to turn down if you're getting big money for it. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of a facade. It's kind of a lie.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing I always told myself when I was coming up, and I still tell myself to this day, is I will never pick up a sponsorship of a product or a company that I don't I don't genuinely have interest in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just going to hop on your bandwagon and start wearing your clothes because, it looks cool.
Yeah, I get that shit on Instagram. I guarantee you do all the time,
all
too.
The time, man.
Brand
all the time.
content people.
These supplement companies that are like, oh, dude, try my pre-workout. It's, nah, I don't want your basement pre-workout, man. I take, you know, this, and this. If these companies want to sponsor me, by all means, I'll take it because I use it. And it's really big with supplements. I'm blessed enough to have a sponsor, Snakebite Fitness.
Fuck yeah. Snakebite Fitness.
Yeah, they're, you know, use a discount code. It's Michael15.
Is it on your Instagram?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram.
It's on his fucking Instagram. Go get that shit.
And you know, I went with them because they're a small up and coming Minnesota company. I think they have like 10 or 15,000 followers now. When they first started, they did not have.
So they really grinded.
Yeah, they're hustling, man. Great company. They make those fat grips like you would use for dumbbell curls, like the big fat grips, and it helps. It gives you a lot more, like it gives you
wrist support.
Nasty forearm pump. It's disgusting. It hurts. But yeah, they make those.
Does it protect your wrist?
Not so. It's just more or less, instead of having a bar that's curled up in your hand like this,
it's
it
just
opens
a bigger
it
grip.
up. Yeah, so it works a different head of your bicep.
I see.
So yeah, they're amazing. I love them, and they make super comfortable. I didn't wear anything today, but they make super comfortable joggers and
so they got apparel and everything.
Yeah. So I mean, I work with them because, you know, they're small. I liked their company, you know, ethic and stuff like that. So, you know, and the same thing goes for like a Black Rifle Coffee. Like if I genuinely have interest in your company and its foundation, and, you know, for Black Rifle Coffee, working for veterans working for veterans, I love that. That's a great ethic, and there's a lot of morale to that. I like it. So.
I've heard a lot about that coffee brand. I'm a huge coffee drinker, but I've not yet been able to try them.
It's amazing. If you've never had it, you got to try it. I'm not even sponsored, but I'm promoting Black Rifle Coffee. So
that's how you know it's fucking good.
No, it's amazing, dude.
Free advertising.
It's crazy because it's literally a company that was started by a guy who was overseas. You know, he's a veteran, and he would make coffee every morning, and he got so interested in it, so he would make it for like his squad, whatever he I'm pretty sure he was Army, so, you know, be a squad. He'd make coffee for them, and he had this little like makeshift thing he made in the truck where he was like a grinder and this and that, and he just would try these different things, and he just got so infatuated with it that he was like, I'm gonna make a coffee company. Ends up doing it, and it's one of the biggest coffee companies around now.
I see it everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And they give back to the military, right? Like
yeah, dude. They're all they take on like veterans that, you know, a lot. They have you know, guys that are amputees.
For like employment, you're saying?
Yeah, for employment. Like they just take them in. Come work for us. Come work for us. So yeah, they're awesome. And they make all these cool videos of backstories of their different workers and founders, and like, you know, they show all the badass stuff they did and their credentials. It's awesome, man.
That is pretty dope, actually. I bet that's there needs to be more of that. That is one thing. Again, I don't know a ton about. Was not in the military.
Yeah,
I'm not a veteran. But just the little things I do here, it seems that there is a very much lack of support for guys coming back, and if they're in a bad spot with mental health wise or physically. Like I don't even know a whole lot about it. You probably know way more than I do and hear from guys, but a company like that seems like that's fucking needed.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Whether that guy who started it was a military guy or not. But just having that kind of culture of like celebrating those dudes who made that sacrifice at like a corporate position. Because I don't know. Do you hear guys coming back and it's almost like they have to hide it if they're going into like a regular 9-to-5 corporate job? Or
I think
because you're military, right?
Yeah, I just finished my contract in November. Actually,
in November.
Yep. So I did 6 years with the Minnesota Army National Guard.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. Joined when I was 17, got done in November. So yeah, 6 years flew by. But,
that's awesome.
But yeah, dude, honestly, I think we're getting better as a society. I think our eyes opened up a lot after Vietnam.
Yeah.
Big time, when, you know, guys were coming home and getting called, you know, baby killers, and, you know, we're getting spit on and you know, just so mentally and emotionally abused by their own people that they were there for. So yeah, I think.
And it's not like they knew, because there was a draft for Vietnam, wasn't there? So it's not like they knew what the fuck they were going there for, even a lot of the times.
No, man.
Or they didn't know what they were being ordered to do.
It was literally, hey, you're going to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Hey, you are too. You're going.
And what if you don't go, you go to jail, right? If you're drafted.
I believe so. Yeah. If you did not, you would go to jail. And a lot of earlier jail sentences, that's how they would do it. They would say, you can either serve in the military or do your time. So yeah.
Even guys who weren't drafted.
That was a different time.
Lil B's joining us again in the podcast. You want to come up here?
She just wants some love.
Come here, buddy. Yeah, stop jumping and I'll catch you. There you go. Oh, kisses. Oh, kisses.
Such cutie. But yeah, I think we've gotten a lot better as a society of embracing our veterans and making.
I'm trying to listen to you.
It's all good. Yeah, we've gotten a lot better, I think, and it's a big turnaround. There is a lot more opportunities out there, but if I'm being honest, I think it's still underappreciated.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, like you said, man, they go and they do tours, and it's crazy. For me, it's a little different. I'm on a different path to where, being a veteran and I've served, you have a persona to you that guys that are in, they pick up on that, like as a ex-service member, I know when somebody had served. You just get that aura
like
from
you're
them.
saying if they did it in an overseas tour.
Not just
or
being
just in general.
It's just the way they carry themselves, how they talk, certain things they do. You're like that. Yeah, he was in 100%. And for me, it's different because I see, I can pick up on stuff like that. But it is amazing to me if I wasn't, a former service member, I wouldn't know. Some of these guys are just so closeted with it. Like you would never know. You could be talking to some guy, looks just average human being. And this guy's, ex special forces, did 6 tours in Iraq and, he was part of, the Rangers, 75th Ranger Regiment and all this crazy stuff. You're like, what? Like, dude, why are you not like
using that?
Yeah. Like I would be so proud. I'd be wearing stuff about it. And I just, I think a lot of guys don't like talking about it. And maybe being that I never deployed, I see differently, but I'd be proud almost of head serving. Granted, some of these guys have some horrible stories. So
do you feel like it's kind of more maybe those guys?
It goes both ways, I think.
Yeah.
I think as a prior service, I would be proud of my service and what I did, but at the same time, I can see why a lot of guys would also be like, I don't want to talk about it. Because sometimes, you look at when we first went into Iraq, it's very controversial of why we went to Iraq. They, George Bush was saying that, it was for weapons of mass destruction. There was a lot of controversy saying that we were there to get their oil because they were making way too much money, and we basically jumped in and said, hey, give us some of that money, even though we have nothing to do with it. Give us some of that money. And if not, we're going to send guys to come kill you so that we can get the oil. I'm not saying that's what I think. I'm just saying that's
an argument out there.
Yeah, it's all over the news. It's nothing I'm saying is new. And yeah, so I think a lot of guys sometimes find themselves in a spot where they're like, yeah, I served and I thought it was going to be this, but I'm a little disappointed because it ended up being this. And
I could see that for sure.
Almost as if they're ashamed of what they were there for. They don't want to talk about it because they're like, I had to do this, this, and this, and I don't even know why I was there in the first place. So
that can be hard. And again, that's not their fault. Like because the military does a great marketing job as well. Like for your country, do this and that, volunteer. It's going to be this glorious work. You're going to feel really fulfilled. Is kind of the persona I get from it. And like, I'm sure it's not always that case. Yeah. I'm sure that's not always how these guys feel. I'm sure sometimes it is, and I'm sure sometimes it isn't. So yeah, maybe those guys are just, they don't want to tell the story. So then they don't even want to maybe show something. So then it becomes a conversation starter. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but.
Yeah. Like I said, I was never deployed, but, being in the National Guard, you get activated for stuff, and being in Minnesota, we've had a couple riots in the last year. So when the George Floyd riots kicked off, I was activated for that. We were one of the first units to get selected for that because the unit I was with was the 34th Military Police Company in Stillwater. So being a military police unit, we're pretty. I'm not saying we're better than anybody else by any means. I mean, we did win a Bandholtz Award, which was pretty cool, which basically meant we're the best MP company in the United States, which was pretty badass.
That's dope. How big is that, like, grouping? I don't even know what the terminology is.
In all National Guards throughout Minnesota, or not even just Minnesota, but throughout the states.
Yeah, how big is your, like, group that won that?
Our company was probably 250 people strong.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a mechanic, but I was with a military police unit. Okay. That's kind of how they do it. We're
military guys are laughing at me out there, calling it a group.
Yeah. What was it? How many people in your posse?
How many friends did you have?
How big was your guys' clique? No, man, it's no big deal. But yeah, we were there doing the George Floyd stuff. It was interesting. I never in a million years would have guessed that in my time of service I would go to a scene that was 15-20 minutes away from my house.
Yeah.
To find buildings burning, people robbing stores, breaking in.
It was crazy.
Gunfire, rubber bullets being shot like crazy. Yeah, it was wild, man. It was like the Wild West, and it was very surreal for sure. Because all you smelt was bonfire, and this was still during a pandemic, so we had to wear our masks and stuff, and it was wild. It was very wild. Then we were activated again briefly after that for the gentleman who had, I don't know if you ever saw it, but he had shot himself.
I saw that. I was not here anymore because I was here for the George Floyd stuff.
I think he was. Don't quote me on this. I don't know if this is. I probably shouldn't even try to talk about it because I don't know. But I believe he was. The police were looking for him, something or another, and all I know is in the video, he like went up to this corner of a store, and you saw him shoot himself in the face.
Yeah, it was gruesome.
And then people immediately associated that with, oh my God, the police shot another black man. And then the footage was leaked because they were apparently there was protest planned to go on and stuff like that, and because they had thought it was another police shooting, but then this video started getting leaked of like you saw this guy blow his brains out, and there wasn't cops nearby. So then people were like, "Oh, okay, all right, yeah, so we're not going to do this."
And I think that because I did see that I wasn't here anymore. A lot of those rioting, or a lot of the rioting, and when all that went down is when I was home because of COVID, kind of on an extended, unplanned stay.
Yeah.
But I think I had left by the time that happened, but I did see it even out there. A lot of my social media is still Minnesota things, but circulating. But I think what I hope, obviously that was tragic, and I don't know the whole story either, but what I hope that showed people is to not jump so quick with social media videos. Like, and I do this myself too, is like you see a video and you just immediately think you know everything. And then maybe even a day or a few days later, or hours later, you see another video and you're just like, that actually captured the whole thing. And you're just like, oh, whatever it is, even whatever situation it is. And I think people are just really quick to, because I think there was protesting for that incident. And then I don't know if it was that day or whatever, whenever people realized it wasn't what it looked like from the very first video, that it was actually completely different. I guess I hope it stopped. I wasn't here, so I don't really know what went down that day.
So that was pretty relaxed. We were still activated for 3-4 days.
Yeah.
But I spent my time at, I'm not sure if you're super familiar with like downtown Minneapolis, but there's a hotel, the Hyatt Regency, and then across the street's Millennium. So I was at the Hyatt in their like little parking area. It was off of, I don't even know what that street's called. Nicollet. It's off of Nicollet Ave. Yep. I'm not sure what exact side street it was off of, but I was there and it was pretty relaxed. It's a pretty big homeless area, so we just dealt with a lot of drunk people and just stupid stuff like that. But nothing happened that night.
That's good.
Fortunately. The George Floyd stuff, yeah, that was crazy different. That was oh man, we were side by side with Minneapolis PD and troopers, and it was the first couple of days. Yeah, we were down patrolling the streets with them, And yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I bet.
You'd be walking with the police, and all you hear was "Ksh," and you'd hear glass break, and you'd see some kids running into a store down off of Nicollet. Once again, we were down on Nicollet, and yeah, it was you heard fire trucks everywhere, sirens everywhere. It was wild, man. It was like Grand Theft Auto.
It was kind of like a war zone. Not even kind of. It was a war zone down
100%. Yeah, and there was you'd hear little pops going off, whether it was fake gunfire, people just shooting to shoot, whatever it was. But still, it's like, man, you were just on your toes.
I bet you had to be, yeah. Because I went down there. I went down there after the first 2 nights of riding. Obviously, I don't live down there. My parents don't live down there, so I wasn't in the ride. I wasn't involved down there, but I did want to go down there just because it felt like to me this massive moment. Obviously, there was a lot of, I don't know if you'd say bad or like things that happened that shouldn't happened.
I get what you're saying.
But
yeah.
I don't even know how to say exactly what I'm trying to say. But
maybe some false accusations on some stuff, or I guess maybe not even false accusations because that makes it sound bad, but more or less.
I'm talking about like the riots itself, like destroying things.
I think it was a lot of overreaction, and not even so much that it was an overreaction, but the way that they were trying to, I guess, show their emotion was just a little confusing to a lot of us. It was, we understood that they were like people were upset. We were upset.
Well, that's the thing. I would imagine a lot of probably police as well, but also National Guard guys like would have been in the riot if they weren't being, because you don't have a choice. Obviously, they're deploying you.
Oh yeah.
So there was
definitely people like
completely understand the anger.
We understood the peaceful protesting, and that's the thing that a lot of people didn't understand is a lot of people associated what we were there for with, they're backing up the police. Yeah. Well, morally, maybe not.
Yeah.
But physically, yeah.
Physically, but it's also it's your order.
Yeah, like we work for the state of Minnesota. So if our governor needs help, and we do the same thing for floods. If they need help, we're the first to get called because we work for the state. So people don't understand that that's our job, is to help with, emergencies in the state. That's what we do. And being that the police officers were overwhelmed and vastly outnumbered, they needed us. So yeah, they would immediately associate that with, you're working for the cops, you're on the cop side. It's like, well, we understand what their job is, and we understand that they're not all bad eggs. Yeah. A lot of people were putting them all into the category of, fuck all the cops. They're all horrible. There's a couple bad eggs. Yeah. Look at politics. There's a lot of bad eggs. Why don't we give them a hard time more often? Yeah. There's bad eggs everywhere, man. Look at celebrities. All these celebrities that are getting caught raping people.
Yeah, they're like,
it's like there's bad eggs everywhere. Is it sad that people that are supposed to be protecting us do these bad things? Yeah, but there's always going to be a couple guys that slip through the cracks. The military sees the same thing. There's guys that are in the military, and I don't personally know any of them because like I said, I've never deployed, but I've heard stories from people of guys that are on deployments, and you can find YouTube videos of it too. Guys will talk about, being special forces, whatever, they'll be overseas, and they talk about how crazy some of these guys that they're working with are.
Like the U.S. military guys?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, these guys that just, they love to kill. That's their thing. And there is rules. I mean, we have like war rules, essentially. Like, it's like playing a video game. Like, there's rules. You can't do this. You can't do this. But some of these guys are so just like, they love to kill. And it's so,
that's wild. The thing with the military is like, I think it's really ugly, especially for just regular civilians who live in America, which is no fucking wars are here, whatever, like regular civilian life. Like, we train people to be expert killers.
100%.
And that's what their job is. So these people are going to probably, whether they were before or after or happens at some point doing this job, be a little fucked up in the head, whether they enjoy it or not. Like, they're going to be, what their fucking profession is killing people or military objectives.
Yeah, and it's
and I don't know. I guess that's just the ugly truth and the reality of the situation. Like that's what some people's jobs are.
I mean, if you want to think of it wholeheartedly, our job as, you know, as soldiers is to protect our country, protect our people, and defend it at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not even so much that killing is the goal. It's just it happens to be an aftermath of war. It's been going on since
Forever.
You know, since before Christ. Mm-hmm. We've always been in some type of war. The world has.
The world has. Yeah.
It's just that's people's human nature. We love to fight. We love confrontation, and especially the United States. We have a lot of very well trained, highly operable sections within the military to do stuff like that. So it's not even so much that, like, when you look at like Bin Laden, we didn't even really want to kill him. We wanted to capture him, but it just so happened that given the scenario, given the circumstances, they had to pull the trigger. But it wasn't. I mean, ideally, we would like to capture because we would like to question him. Hey, why did you do this? Get information. Because if he's dead, he doesn't offer us any value.
Yeah,
he's just
another.
You can't do anything with him. Yeah, he's gone. Okay, but we want answers. It's like interrogators. Interrogators wouldn't have a job if we just killed everybody.
True, and they want to bring in suspects and actually get information.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Yeah, our goal is not always to kill. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if you're in Iraq or Afghanistan and you're on a convoy and you're hearing shots getting popped off at you, you're going to return fire. That's what you got to do. You can't just sit there and be like, hey, let's talk about this. Mm-hmm. Let's work something out here. War zone. If you're dealing with people that want you dead, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta defend your people too.
It's a different world, and that's what I think is hard for people to understand here. And again, I'm including myself. I've never experienced anything like that. The closest thing I experienced to a war zone type of atmosphere was here with those riots. It felt like anything could happen at any fucking any second. It felt like things could get really ugly literally any second. You really didn't know. I was down there the second day and blocks were burnt up, buildings fucking destroyed. Like it was something that I think even in the moment I was like, I can't really even understand how big of a deal this is right now until like I can't process that. Like right now I'm thinking about it again. It's just like fuck.
Yeah, especially in Minnesota, of all places. Mm-hmm. We're known for being, Minnesota nice and passive aggressive. But, dude, that was, Minnesota saw it. Minnesota went through it for a week.
And I don't know how you feel. Obviously, we've never talked about this. Seeing that video was fucking
devastating,
and like. I'm trying not to get emotional right now.
No, it's all good, man.
I don't know, man. It was hard to watch. So I understood the anger.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, I understood it as much as I could. I know I'm not going to understand it fully.
It's hard. Being the scenario, we're both obviously white men.
Yeah.
We don't face that adversity. Mm-hmm. We don't, and we never will.
Yeah.
And it's a truth that we've accepted.
Yeah,
but
I think you need to. I think as a white man, this is just my opinion. White person, even not just male. You need to understand and accept that you don't understand. Like
you never will.
Yeah. You never will, so and that like it just is what it is. You can try. Like I'm not saying don't try. Obviously, try. Talk to people, get some experience, get some perspective, but you don't live that every single second. It's not a part of your life. Maybe if you go somewhere else in the world, you can get a similar experience, but having it that's even probably different because okay, this is a foreign place. This isn't my home country. This isn't where I grew up. This isn't my state. This isn't my hometown. Again, right now I'm even thinking about that. I haven't thought about that before. Like that's even got to be a different feeling that you just will never get. Mm-hmm. But so I guess personally, I try to keep that in mind of like all that whole scenario was fucking hard to because there was so much ugliness. I understood it. Things like destroying things. I don't really like. It seemed to me maybe it went on too long. But at the same time, then I'm thinking, well, I don't understand. Like, I can't tell someone else. I'm not in a position to tell anybody else how angry they should be about something I don't fucking understand.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a really hard scenario. And the video was so clear and so ugly and so hard to watch and so just like disgusting. I don't know. I remember waking up and seeing that and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know. That happened right here, like just 30 minutes. I was down there when it happened. I didn't know that until the next day because it went viral the next day. I was like 2 miles away. I was at like Harriet.
Okay, yeah, so pretty
I
close.
was literally like 2 miles away.
Real close.
Like within the hour or two that it in real time it was happening, but I just didn't know it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
Dude, yeah, it was, watching it, I obviously have a lot of law enforcement buddies, so I tried to keep a level head.
Yeah.
Of course, just because I felt for them. I felt for them because I knew they were going to be directly affected. Yeah. These guys that I know are great guys. Yeah. Great guys.
See, that's a hard part of it,
if they were put in that scenario, things might have been different. So it was hard. Definitely. I get what you're saying there. It was hard to watch because for me personally, my thought process was, damn, this is gonna suck. Like,
so you kind of knew that right away.
I knew. Yeah. As a pretty sophisticated person, and I have a good sense for for stuff like that. I have a good sense of what's to come. I knew that this was gonna be bad. Yeah. Tensions were already high. We've been dealing with the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff and whatnot for the last couple years now. It's white cop kills black guy it's been in a lot of places the last couple years. So I knew with what had happened, it was gonna be ugly. I just knew it. And yeah, like I said, I felt bad for my law enforcement buddies because I was like, you guys are gonna have a tough go at this. Yeah. Exactly. And I knew for me personally, I was like, we are gonna have to go help. And I knew that too.
So you felt that right away?
Oh yeah, you knew it. Yeah. It's like Ferguson, man. Yeah. Like they were martial law, I'm pretty sure.
So that was in was that Missouri?
Ferguson. That was, man, I don't even want to say anything stupid.
St. Louis or something.
I almost kind of want to look it up just to be certain.
So I don't know.
Spitting out.
I know that was another scenario like that. But yeah, I think your phone interacts with me and John found that out yesterday.
All right,
you can look it up, but yeah, just so you know, that's why it's buzzing. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I know that's another scenario like that happened and things were not good there. Obviously, I did not spend any time there. I think it's St. Louis.
2014.
It's been that long.
Missouri. Yeah, you're right, man. Nice job.
Yeah, I think it was St. Louis.
Yeah, but you definitely knew something was gonna happen.
Did those National Guard guys get deployed down there?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were rolling around in up armored trucks and all that stuff. Yeah, they were there for sure. See, we thought we were gonna go too. We thought they were gonna call other states.
Really?
Like for the George Floyd stuff, dude, we had North Dakota.
I was gonna say they
Wisconsin, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all there.
Yeah. That's just another hard. I feel for the guys who are good guys.
Yeah, that's what
like
I'm saying, man.
That's also like an impossible fucking situation to be in.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Like, yeah. I mean, it is. That is what it is. That's an impossible situation to be in. And again, not all of them probably even like they understand why people are mad, but they're doing their job.
Yeah, they have to, and that's the thing, man. Yeah, like my mentality on it was, I thought that what was going to happen was going to have some type of reaction. Mm-hmm. I don't think there was. Okay, here we go. Now we're back on track. So what I was going to say was there's a big difference for me between the people that were peacefully protesting and saying, hey, what happened was messed up, which it was. Mm-hmm. And, we need justice. Mm-hmm. That you get that
100%.
But when you see these videos of buildings burning down, these small business owners who own little car dealerships,
who a lot of times are minority torched. Also.
Yeah.
losing their business.
And it's like you see these innocent people who are they just happen to have a business in Minneapolis, and it's being broken into.
Yeah.
And the Target, like, what did Target have to do with anything?
Yeah.
What did Target do to this scenario? Like, stuff like that made me angry because I'm like, okay, granted, Target's a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Target don't give a shit about, but the small businesses.
The small businesses, though, man, like these little mom and pop diners were getting busted. People were just breaking shit for no reason.
Yeah.
And that part of me was like, all right, why is that happening though? I get being angry, but it's like if you're angry, you can't just be angry and react to whatever is in your way.
Yeah.
React to what you're angry at, which in that case was the police. And it's like, even then, there's still gray. And I'm not saying, my point there is not to be like, oh, you guys should have went right after the police. And you should have burned down precincts, because I think that's still messed up too.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between, for me, the peaceful protests and the rioters. I think they're two separate people.
Yeah.
The way I see it, the peaceful protesters, they want change. They want something to go away. They have an issue with adversity and what they're being faced with, which is understandable. And then there's these people that are just breaking shit. That's how I personally see it. Whether it's wrong, whether people think I'm an idiot for saying that, I don't know. I really don't care.
Yeah, that's just how you're viewing it right
But that's
now.
just how I view it, man. Like, there's...
Did you see... Because I think this was a thing, too, and again, this might be to some social media bullshit of people basically hijacking, the peaceful protests just to fuck shit up like that. Like, did you see that firsthand?
The first night, yeah.
Because I feel like that... When you start seeing things like that was also, I think, wrong.
Well, dude, you saw like people were driving.
Like they're just
home
using
from,
people's anger to fuck shit up because
they're hopping on
they're
the
not
back.
they're not with the movement that's happening. There's something else.
You got these people that are the turtles, right?
Yeah.
They're moving along. They have a purpose, and then there's these. What's a good example? What's like? I'm trying to think. There's like some kind of. I think it's like elephants. You know how like the birds hop on the back and like go for the journey, whatever it is. Kind of like that. Like these people were just getting on the back of these people that actually had something to say.
Just trying to fuck
and just
shit
saying
up.
Like, oh, let's do this. Let's break shit. Let's do this.
Yeah.
It was disgusting, man. And we did see it firsthand. We would, you saw it on the news even. And like
that's the
people
thing,
were just driving home from work and they
Yeah.
were having their hoods smashed.
Yeah.
People throwing shit at their cars. Like,
See, yeah.
bro, I just worked my 9 to 5. I'm just trying to go home.
Yeah, people who are also innocently getting hurt. That's there's no fucking
there's
reason
no
for that.
That is not justified.
And the ironic thing of it, or not ironic, but the crazy timing is, I feel like just before that happened, I watched the documentary on Netflix about the 92 riots in LA.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I'd seen some videos of it before as a younger person, but that was fucking ugly too.
Craziness.
And then literally like within that week, it happened here.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what? It was so similar. It was crazy. It was just fucking crazy. But
and you did not ever think it was going to... Dude, weeks before that, we were at... You'd be going to Cowboy Jack's.
Yeah.
You'd be going to Cowboy Jack's and getting
in the middle
hammered.
of a pandemic, like...
Oh, man, yeah.
That was a crazy time. I feel like everyone in the world probably, especially in this area, and other cities that were also going through tough things like that. Because there was reactions in LA. When I was back out there was riots, there was protests way out there. I still see George Floyd, I don't know if you'd call them billboards, but like honorable graffiti, you could call it. Like just things, you see it everywhere. That's spread across the country.
All around, man. Every state reacted in some manner.
Mm-hmm.
Some more than others.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's crazy, though.
2020 has been a year.
A fucking year, man.
It has been a year. I'm ready for it to go away.
That's, I feel like the whole world, our country is like...
We need a big restart. And
decompressing, like, wait, what the fuck? Because we're still going through the pandemic. That's not done. When that shit's done, when this vaccine, whatever, when it's actually finally feels like it's in the rear view, I feel like then the country's going to be like, what the fuck did we just go through?
Yeah, we're going to look back. It's going to be like how your grandfather would tell you war stories.
Yeah.
That's 2020 is a giant war story.
That's a great point.
It was a full year of just a battle.
Did you ever think about, we've had I feel like we've had a crazy fucking national experience life, because we're both young people. You're 23, you
so
said?
much has happened.
9/11 has happened in our lifetime.
Young. I was real young.
Same. Fucking like Hurricane Katrina, this pandemic.
Kobe dying this year.
Yeah, we thought that was going to be the worst.
Man,
that was crazy, unexpected. All of a sudden you wake up, Kobe's dead. But
there's been a lot, man.
I feel like there was something else I'm missing.
Bin Laden.
Just all these crazy experiences. Yeah. Oh, the recession. Yeah. Like in our only short 20-some years of life, I feel like there's all these experiences that are once in a generation,
there's
once in a century, and it's just like we keep having them. Boom, boom,
dude.
Boom,
all
boom.
Those school shooters,
Vegas.
Shooting.
That's one thing that
Vegas
it seems the pandemic.
Vegas will go down in history as one of the biggest mass murders. Did
you guys have to talk about that? Like when those things happen, do they get brought up in National Guard? Like, do you guys have meetings or?
No, man. That didn't really affect us. That more or less just came down to events in mass size like that need more security. Dude, that was a wild event.
What that was a dude who was in the hotel just
that Paddock guy.
Rifle.
I don't even know his first. James Paddock. I don't
know.
I don't know, but dude, that was the hotel did a very poor job of. I mean, dude, he was walking in every day, like 3-4 times a day, with 3 or 4 more suitcases. Really? They were all filled with guns and ammo.
Seriously?
But he was and the thing is, he was a regular there.
So they just trusted him.
Yeah, he was a regular, and that's the thing. It's like, if he's a regular, how often is he coming in every single? You know what I'm saying? To me, something would. And he was doing this for like 4 days, just stacking up. Because when they went in there, it was an arsenal. I mean, you're talking like millions of dollars in guns and ammo, just spread across.
In his hotel room.
He had stuff barricaded. He had it soundproof. He had.
What the fuck? Was he an ex-military guy?
No.
He just knew his shit.
No, he was just. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like a. Dude, he was like a banker. Like he was like a generic. He had like a regular job.
Do you think that dude like went off the edge one day, or do you think he was just kind of slowly moving towards this?
Who knows, man? Maybe
psycho fucking.
You never know. And like he's another one, man. He killed himself, so you couldn't even like ask him questions.
True.
But it would have been surreal to dig into his mind and be like, what was your motive?
Yeah. Because
apparently he was like a loving family guy. You know, he was. You know.
It's with the people like that are just crazy. Did you ever watch? Do you like a lot of crime
yeah,
shows?
Dude.
Did you watch Mindhunter?
Is that new one?
It's not new, but it's really fucking good. It's about, I think it's on Netflix, and it's about like the FBI when they first started. It's these two guys who are FBI agents, and they're basically the first, I believe, I don't want to say in like the 80s, maybe 70s, like putting together the magnitude of like serial killers, and through these two guys and like their study of how to interrogate, I think, murderers, they I think coined the term serial killers. Like this wasn't a thought before, that like guys would go from town to town to town in wherever the fuck the country and kill people. And like I think it was from that like St. Francis. And where did you go to, like Anoka or something?
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't talk about murders that happened in each other's because they're kind of like competing almost. So then they noticed all these similarities, I think, of like, oh, this sounds like this guy. Like they weren't working together and they were right next to each other.
The same shit would happen 20 miles away.
Yeah, I think it was these guys who would do that. But what I was going to say is they were also, I think, the first people to sit down and interrogate these guys who were already in prison as murderers and learn from them of why they're doing what they're doing. And then there was this one dude, I think it's Kemper, it's just something Kemper, Ed Kemper or something, who like would kind of work with them and get in the mind of other, I think, guys that they were trying to chase and catch. And like he kind of helped them like figure out this like MO of like a typical like what a serial killer thinks, why they're doing it. And it's like it's just really interesting. So if you like crime shit,
I'll have to watch that for sure.
It's really good.
I'm still trying to hustle through my Game of Thrones, so can't distract me too much, man.
Where are you at? I did not finish that either. I was like 3 seasons in.
Yeah, there's like 85 seasons of it. I'm on season 2.
85. They're like
I'm on
movie.
season 2.
Every episode's like a movie.
Dude, it's good, man. I watched the first couple episodes of season 1 and I was like, this is shit. I did not like it. I thought it was really, but everything starts like that, man. The only show that I've ever watched from like episode 1 and been hooked since was Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad?
That's it. From episode 1, I was like, I like this.
It was good. I didn't finish that either, but my family Because we were kind of younger. I think we were in like middle school, whatever, when that was airing. I don't know when you watched it, but my family was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
So I definitely saw a lot of it. That's when Netflix was doing like you'd get delivered CDs.
Oh, I remember that.
And DVDs.
Yeah, I didn't have Netflix then.
No.
I was going up to Blockbuster.
Did you ever? Oh, I remember Blockbuster.
You used to have one in Coon Rapids, man. Right up Round Lake.
We had one. It wasn't a Blockbuster, but we had a movie store right in East Bethel, just like a standalone fucking store. Yeah.
Probably right over by County Market.
It was right by Soderquist, if you remember where that was. Soderquist is right by Max's Bar.
Okay.
Have you been up there?
Off
65.
Yeah.
It's Soderquist now is Cowboy
Church.
Church.
East Bethel, isn't it? It's East Bethel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like right on the border. Ham Lake's got to be right there. I think it literally might be that intersection.
Okay.
Dairy Queen across the street.
Yep.
You know, small town shit.
Yeah.
Got the Dairy Queen. Got the bar.
You got everything, man. You got Max's.
You got 2 bars.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people from St. Francis were actually going there for like last year around this time.
Max's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was like the hot spot.
I wasn't around here, but I felt like I'd seen that.
A lot of stories posted there.
Because that's right by where I live.
Okay.
I'm literally like 5 minutes from there.
Yeah,
so a lot of the St.
Francis
Francis kids. Yeah, I'm in East Bethel. But
okay.
A lot of the St. Francis kids who live around like Coon Lake, I'm sure go there a lot. That's real close. But yeah, man, Mindhunters are great.
Yeah, I'll have to get into that, dude.
Only 30-minute episodes, so you'll probably blast through those whenever you get into it.
Yeah, I just got to get through the rest of these 300 episodes of Game of Thrones, and then I'll be right on there.
Game of Thrones, I think for me, also started off slow, but I started watching it as the last season was airing, so everyone was talking about it. I kind of put it off. I was like, all right, I'll check it out. I think I got like 3.5 seasons in, and
yeah, I was definitely that guy that people were like, dude, you got to watch it. And I was like, fuck off. No, I'm not falling into the cliche. I was that guy. I was like, I'm not watching your stupid show just because you all are watching it. I'm not being a sheep.
Yep.
I'm not falling into that. So now I'm watching it. Now that it's not cool anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm old school too, man. I've been getting into The Sopranos.
I never watched that.
Oh, it's good, man.
But you said Sons of Anarchy earlier,
Sons of Anarchy. That was another one. I got into that, but that's a slow one, man. That one takes probably the first season for you to get hooked. And then you start to understand the characters, and they really start to get into some action. And it's really when you understand who the characters are that it makes more sense. Like when someone does a specific thing, you're like, oh, this is gonna get good. Like, some shit's gonna happen. Like that's what I'm saying. You have to be invested to know, like. And the thing about Sons of Anarchy that I absolutely hate is they would always leave you on a cliffhanger every episode. Some shows are notorious for that. Oh, you would finish an episode and you're like, God damn it, I don't want to watch another one, but I have to now.
Yep.
And then it would just keep doing that. Yep. It would keep leaving you on a cliffhanger where you just needed to know what was going to happen, because it was like just as you're about to climax, and then they pull out and they're like, nope, watch it on the next episode. You're like, God damn it, don't want to do this right now.
Just let me fucking orgasm.
Yeah,
right
just
now.
Let me come already. God damn it.
Yeah, no, I've watched the first episode of that show I think a couple times, and it's always late at night, so I always fall asleep and I never get through it because it looks badass. My dad was obsessed with that. Oh, dude, he would get fucking bandanas and sons this, sons that.
Dude, I would scream. Something would happen, I'd be like, yes. I was freaking out. I'd be like, that, yeah, like I was watching like a UFC fight. It was
Are you a big UFC fan?
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
love it. Not really anymore. No. I mean, I love the fighting now, but it's watching it is not the same.
You saying right now just because of no fans?
Yeah, the no fans thing kind of throws it off. It's so quiet, dude. You can hear everything. Quiet. But it's still great to watch fights, man. I'm pumped to watch. Hopefully apparently Conor and Poirier are gonna go at it again. Yeah, that'll be cool.
I think that's booked already, right?
Is it?
I believe so.
I think they might have just did that last week. They're talking GSP versus Khabib. That would be crazy. Both come out of retirement. Mm-hmm. They're both, essentially undefeated. I mean, St. Pierre lost his first 2 fights, but then he went
on a tear.
Undefeated. Yeah, he tore it up. So
yeah, he lost to
Michael Bisping.
Didn't he lose to Matt Hughes at one point?
He lost to Matt Hughes, ended up fighting him again, kicked the shit out of him.
And then from
both the guys he lost to. I don't remember who the first loss was, but both the people he lost to, Matt Hughes was one. Yeah. He came back later and kicked the shit out of both.
Yeah, Matt Hughes was like a dominator at that point. I think it must have been their first fight. Yeah, he beat him. Then did a rematch, destroyed him, and I think they might have did another rubber match in GSP.
They might have done a third one. Yeah, dude, Matt Hughes.
He was the dude before GSP.
Yeah, he's Did you hear about what happened with him?
Mm-mm.
Dude, he was driving and his truck was hit by a train. He's
What?
like, I don't want to say he's paralyzed, but he might be. I know he was on crutches for a while, but yeah, dude, his truck got like T-boned by a train.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what the story was. I don't know if he was driving drunk or what
He
it was,
didn't
but
die?
yeah, he got destroyed. And yeah, had like multiple surgeries. He had that like slow speech too, like he had to relearn how to
Damn.
talk again. He got messed up, man.
That's
Yeah,
really unfortunate. That's crazy.
yeah. They had him on like a UFC Hall of Fame thing, and he came
Fuck.
up and he had like his crutches and stuff. And yeah, sad, super
I
sad.
never
dude. He
heard
was a
about
great,
that.
great guy.
Yeah, dude, he was a champion for a while.
Yeah, super good fighter, fun to watch. Him and Forrest Griffin were both like that.
Bro,
But,
Forrest,
yeah, they're both good.
he was a tank, but I remember it's maybe it's sad, but I was a big Anderson Silva.
The Spider.
I was a big fan of his, so
So you probably hated when Adesanya kicked his ass, huh?
no, I'm a big Adesanya fan.
Okay, yeah. All right, so you switch governments.
Stylebender,
Yeah.
dude, he's fucking badass.
Dude, he needs to fight John Jones.
Yeah, I agree, because I love John Jones too. I'm not so much of a, like, I love all those guys. I just want to see a good fucking fight.
Yeah, dude, I don't care if you're like a serial killer, man. If you can put on a banger, I'm watching it. You know, that's like
Bro, they could make a prison league.
They should.
Dude, I bet there's some dudes in there.
Yeah, that way you get
But
nasty.
no, I was gonna say when Anderson Silva fucked up, embarrassed bad Forrest Griffin. Do you remember that fight?
I don't know if I do or not. There were so many fights like that.
That was kind of in his
when he would do the hands behind the
heyday,
back
and he juked up. Like, remember the last fight of his where he was kind of juking and then he got fucked up.
yeah, he got clocked.
He did that with Forrest Griffin though, like a few years earlier when we were younger, and it was like embarrassing because Forrest bit and he just. I think he just clean knocked him out. I don't know. You'd have to look it up, but it was a bad look for Forrest Griffin. And Forrest Griffin was really good. Anderson
Dude, yeah,
Silva
he came out of nowhere, man. He came in and people were like, "Who's this guy?" And
Forrest
he just
Griffin?
No, Silva.
Anderson Silva.
And just started wrecking people.
Yeah,
he just
was-
ran that.
He was a
division.
dude that seemed so good for so long that when I forget the dude's name, was it Chris?
Lieben?
Yeah, who beat him?
That was his first fight.
Right? That
His
was
first
Chris
fight.
Lieben's first fight?
No, that was Anderson Silva's first fight. Yeah, they put him against Chris Lieben.
No,
knocked him out, I think.
No, the dude who ended up beating Silva. He was a white guy.
Oh,
I forget his name,
dude,
but it was just a big surprise because he was kind of a younger guy. I don't think he had that many fights, and then he beat Silva twice.
What was his name? Yeah, dude, I remember what you're talking about.
And it was just like, whoa.
White guy. I don't remember what his name
Yeah, I
is.
think he had like dark hair, brunette dude or something. I
don't
thought his name
remember.
was Chris. You can look it up. Oh,
Chris Weidman. That's who it is.
That's Chris Weidman? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And it was just like, yeah, because Silva had been the champ for so long, embarrassed
was-
people, and then this dude just came and beat him, and it was just like a shock. And I thought for sure, okay, he's going to come back, and he's going to kick his ass. That was just a fluke. And then I think he broke his leg in the rematch.
Yeah, he kicked him right here, and it
Yeah, and
split
his
his leg in half.
yeah.
Split his shin in half. It's disgusting.
Bro, I remember watching this. I have no idea who it was, or even if it was UFC. I remember being at like a wrestling tournament. We would just do out of town tournaments, and a friend of mine's dad, one of our other coaches, showed us this early UFC style, whatever league it was, fight of this dude. He was just trying to do a bunch of shin kicks, and he shin kicked one time, and then went back to step on his leg, and his fucking shin broke in half. Like, it must have been on the kick that he broke his shin, and then he went to like plant on
Dude,
it.
yeah,
and
that
it
was
just
like
folded.
that was literally what Silva did. He kicked him,
Yeah.
and you saw his shin wrap around the guy's leg,
Yeah.
and then he pulled it back and went back to normal. So you were like, did I just see what
The fuck just happened?
You were like tripping for a second, and then he goes to step on it, and he steps and it folds right here, and
Yeah,
you're
right
just
in the-
like, oh, dude, and he hits the ground. He was like, what the fuck? Yeah,
Dude, those injuries. Are you all right with gruesome shit?
oh, dude, I love it.
You love it?
I love that shit.
I'm fine with blood and like really bloody shit, whatever, like surgical shit, but I feel like broken, like joints bent backwards. Give me the fucking.
Oh, dude.
Did you ever watch like Scarred when we were kids?
Yeah, I used
Like
to
that
watch
type of shit?
I was grungy, dude. I was a skateboarder, so
Same, but
Yeah.
that's why I hated watching dudes like fuck up their knees and their ankles.
dude, that was like the first. That was like the first real show that you watched, and you were like, you couldn't eat and watch that show.
Yeah.
No, it was like dudes were taking rails to the chin, and they'd be, dude, there was some nasty stuff, man. They would dudes like breaking their neck. Like it was just
It was
stuff that you're
bad.
like, what?
It was and a lot of freak shit. I remember a dude on there on a rail. I think he was skateboarding. I think it was just some kid in his driveway. Split his balls.
Oh,
Like literally
yeah.
his testicle came out of his balls.
Yeah, you probably saw blood just dripping down his pants.
Yeah, I don't know if they showed it, but I think he said he literally had to drive to the hospital with his ball in his hand so they could go put him back in.
Not ideal.
It's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Not ideal. That's not.
Oh god, bro, that show. Yeah, I'm fine with blood and like cuts and most things, but like
Real injuries like that, yeah.
like George Paul. Am I saying that right? No. Paul George. I said his name backwards. George Paul.
Oh, dude, the basketball. Yeah,
Paul George's fucking injury.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a compound fracture because I think that's when it comes out.
yeah. Him
Yeah.
and Kevin Ware. I remember that guy.
Kevin Ware, yeah, that college dude.
That one was
he goes
gruesome
up
too.
for I think he went up for a layup or something, came down and just leg
split.
just gave out.
Again, like his shin.
Yeah, just
think it was his shin and then his bones sticking out?
Yeah, it was out of the front.
It's that
Yeah.
type of shit where I think it's just limbs bent the complete wrong way.
Dude,
Gets me.
the worst is you see the teammates that are like the worst is their reaction. That's what makes you feel sick, is because you're
Yeah.
looking at them and they're like, oh, like these dudes are ready to throw up because this dude's down holding his leg and his shin is
sprint.
sticking out of his leg. Yeah, they're literally. I think some of them like ran.
Yeah.
Like they ran to the locker room. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at this. Like,
Oh
fuck
my
that.
god! Can you imagine seeing that right in front of you though? That'd be like it'd be like a double take. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? And then at least I think I would be. It'd be hard
Dude,
to imagine.
Yeah,
right
I've
away.
never
Just legs.
seen anything crazy like that before.
No. I
I've
broke
never.
I broke a
no.
kid's arm in wrestling once. That was not nice to look
That's
at.
not cool, man.
It was
It's not cool.
definitely wasn't on purpose. He was like it was
Did you
just
have
a
him in like an
practice.
arm bar or something?
No, it was just a kid. Like we would just do. It was when I was pretty young though, even. But we do like I forget what they're called. There's definitely a name for it, but
Yeah.
whatever. Some one-on-one live wrestling drill at the end of practice where you got two teams and it might have been like king of the mat or something. So you stay out there and wrestle, and then the next team keeps sending guys out there
Yeah.
till you get beat. And it was this kid who wasn't that great, and I think he just planted like kind of when you sit out. I think he was trying to do it like a switch or something. He was just trying to plant his arm, and I think it like folded in half the wrong way.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Yeah, that's
but-
not what you want to do when you're
No.
falling. That's like the biggest thing they teach you is not to stick your arm.
Oh,
out.
yeah.
They teach you to like you want to like.
Well, even in practice, at least when we were kids, it was a thing. You'd get yelled at in practice, like watching when everyone's sitting around and you're learning something. You can't sit with your elbows, like your hands back like this, because someone could walk by
You're
and just hit
supposed
your
to-
elbow.
You're supposed to smack it
Yeah.
when you're falling back like that, or if you're getting like, what is it? If you're getting like suplexed. We always learn that in our tactical training. We would
was
learn
gonna
that
ask,
base training. Yeah,
Do you guys do a lot of?
We did hand-to-hand combat stuff, just in case you have to wrestle somebody.
Is
or
it
whatever
like? Do you do Krav Maga?
No.
No, so I want to do
No.
that.
It was all basic stuff, dude. It's all like basic judo. Just,
Okay.
kind of.
Do you like it?
It was cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
like for sure. Because like I said, I never wrestled. I always wanted to. So it was kind of cool to kind of learn some of that stuff.
You
Actually,
should've.
I wrestled a kid when I was in basic. I wrestled. He was, dude. I had like 10 pounds on him, so
Yeah.
it's really I can't even brag about it. But he was like a nationally ranked his name was Brandon. He was
Brandon what?
nationally Brandon something. I don't know. He's a little Asian kid.
Yeah.
And he was he was like the guy. He was just fucking people up, dude. And because he was a really good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And me and him wrestled, and I went the distance with him.
Yeah.
No one won. It was a draw. But I was like, fuck yeah, I tied this guy. And I was like, never wrestled a day in my life. So I felt pretty accomplished. But yeah, he did just wrestle like 5 people before me, so he was pretty
was tired.
exhausted. Yeah, and he wrestled like big boys. He was wrestling like 200 pounders.
How big was he?
Dude, he was.
like
I was
150?
like 150. So he was 140.
140.
Had to be.
Yeah. Having any sort of training like that definitely
It helps.
helps a fuck ton, but there definitely also is like a tipping point where it doesn't matter, the dude's so big.
Yeah, man, that's what they got to take into account in like UFC. It's like, for example, like an Adesanya versus Jones fight. I don't think it would happen because Jones would never be able to get down to that weight, and even then, like if he was heavier, he's got the advantage. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's
What is
he's
he
a
at?
great wrestler, dude. He's going for heavyweight right
Yeah,
now.
he's going up from 205, right? But
Yeah,
what is
so he's
Adesanya
probably-
at, like 180?
Dude. Yeah, he's a middleweight. I want to say.
I forget what
Is he?
class he's in.
He's got to be a middleweight because he's not a light heavy.
Yeah, and then Usman's above him, isn't he?
Usman's a middleweight, so maybe he's welterweight. I think he's a welterweight. Adesanya. So yeah, it's just like, dude, you could never make that happen because Jones. Yeah, okay, Adesanya's a great striker, but dude, you're dealing with a guy that's a heavyweight. You know, you can't, and he's a fantastic wrestler. Like that's his strong suit.
And his strong suit is just, I mean, both of them have the same strong suit of like just weird athleticism, and their fighting style is just like,
they're both goats in their own respects. Like Adesanya is a very, very accomplished kickboxer. He's had over like 200 kickboxing fights.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that until
like he had a lot of credentials and before the UFC.
Yeah, he was fucking dudes up.
Yeah, he was like a very established fighter, and then he comes in the UFC, gets the title in less than a year. He was nuts.
Was it that fast?
He had his first fight within less. He didn't get his belt in less than a year from starting the UFC, but he had his first fight, and then not even a year later, he did another fight for the belt. He was a champ.
Fuck.
So 2 fights,
he was already in. Yeah, dude, I saw him on some podcasts, and I'd heard of him. I think he was the champion already, but listening to him, that's what made me a fan of his. It's just like, fuck, this dude's pretty sick.
He's a solid dude, man. Good work ethic.
Yeah,
for sure.
and he's from somewhere in Africa. I think him and Usman both are. It might be the same country. I forget.
I want to say Usman's from Nigeria.
I don't know, because I think it was probably on Joe Rogan that he was asking if they would ever fight because they're both champions, and he was saying they never would just because they're both champions from somewhere where there usually hasn't been one, so they don't want to. They want to basically represent their home as much as they can. They don't want to have to go against each other. Yeah. And I think they train at the same training camp.
They might.
I think they're on the same team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes complete sense to me. But, yeah, because Usman's good as fuck, too.
He's a killer.
Yeah, those dudes are.
The Nigerian. He is Nigerian because they call him the Nigerian Nightmare.
Do they? Okay, so they're from Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Yeah. They're fucking insane. UFC guys are crazy.
Yeah, it's a different level, man. I can't even, like, when it comes to bodybuilding, like, yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice, but these dudes are doing the dieting, the workouts.
That's what.
And they're getting the shit kicked out of them.
Exactly. I want to get, obviously, once fucking gyms finally open up, I want to get back into, I miss just, it sounds probably so simple, but I miss pushing weight so much.
It's the best, man.
It was just like, obviously, it was a habit. It was a really strong habit, and it was like my de-stressor, basically. Dude. I was used to doing it, like burning my energy off that way. And I'm used to, I guess, not having it now, but it's still, like, even talking about right now, it's just like this. It's just a feeling, like, you're sore all the time. You get used to kind of being sore. Yeah. It's almost like, okay, I feel good being sore because, you worked your ass off the day before or earlier that day. Like, I don't know, you just get used to that physical feeling and then not having that for so long. And I try to do home workouts, but they're just not the same.
It's not the same, man.
Not at all.
No, yeah, there's just a sense of accomplishment. And people that aren't really into lifting don't get it too much, but there's a sense of, like, just pure accomplishment when you go to the gym. And for me, at least, my biggest, it's, I've been to, because I've dealt with depression and shit since I was in fucking middle school, so for a long time. So all the therapy, counseling I've ever been to, the most therapeutic thing I ever got into was bodybuilding, and that's why I hold it so dearly. Is because not only all right, I go to the gym and I get a pump and I get looks here and there, that's great, but dude, like, that's not why I go there because that's my hour to 2 hours of the day where it's just me able to focus on me. Nothing else matters. My bills don't matter. My groceries that I need to go get, they don't matter.
Whatever problems are on your mind.
Anything that's bothering me, dude, it goes out the window. The only thing that matters is pushing that weight.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt, and it's kind of because I had to work out for sports all growing up, but it was always forced, so I didn't like it.
Yep.
I did not like it, but
football workouts were not fun.
Yeah, I wasn't being there on my own. I wasn't, It
was 6 a.m. wake ups. 3 miles, sprints,
shit like
frog
that.
squat or frog jumps. This is dumb shit like that, man. It's all disciplinary stuff.
But yeah, man, we haven't really got into that yet. Tell me how you kind of got into all that, and growing up, like, were you already interested in that? Were you watching bodybuilders when you were a kid? Like, were you aware of all this shit? Just kind of had a fascination with it, or did you just kind of stumble upon it later as you were growing up, and then realize, man, I really fucking love this, and I want to tackle
Dude,
this?
honestly, I had no idea what bodybuilding was when I was growing up. It was such a foreign thing to me. I had no idea. I was in the same scenario as you. I did football workouts, and for lacrosse, we would work out like 2 days a week sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was, like you said, man, it was forced. The workouts were just stupid for what we I mean, coming from a kid that was 100 and probably 30 pounds at that point, like, wasn't strong. So to do a 3x5 squat, now being being in the fitness industry and being a personal trainer, it's like, why would you ever have a kid that has no foundation do strength workouts? That's not where you start. You don't start with that. Because workouts like that are meant for people that are trying to increase their strength and size, whatever, but you have to have a foundation already. You have to know what your body can do, what it can't do. Doing a 3x5 bench is going to do nothing for you if you're just starting. And it's going to be very belittling too, because you're not going to be moving a lot of weight.
Yeah, you're going to feel
your 5
defeated.
rep max is going to be 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. So I hated it. It sucked. Couple buddies forced me to get a lifetime membership, so I did. Started working out with them, and then I kind of started to like it. I was like, this shit's pretty cool. When you're doing it on your own.
Is this in high school?
Yeah. This was junior year of high school. So right before I joined the military. Yeah, and people were like, you gotta try this. And I got a little beefy. I had some mass, some muscle mass, so that was pretty cool. That was like the first time I really saw progress. And then I went to basic training, came back senior year, and then I really started to like take it a little more serious. I got all my supplements, my creatine, protein, all that stuff, BCAAs, all that beginner stuff that you get hooked on.
Yep.
And then did like my first winter bulk, and that's when I got up to like 155 or something. I thought I was a brick shit house. And so yeah, then off to college we went, and did my first show, and that all started because I was at the gym and some dude asked, because I've always had a pretty aesthetic physique, even when I was skinny. And some kid approached me at the gym and was like, dude, you ever thought about like competing before? I'm like, the fuck you talking about? Like a pageant? And he's like, no, man, like bodybuilding, you ever thought about? I'm like, nah. And so, he ended up showing me some stuff, and showed me like current day bodybuilding.
Was he a competitor?
He had done a show before. Yeah, he was pretty fat at the time. But he was like, dude, you should try it out, man, like whatever. So, I started working.
He just encouraged you.
Yeah, he's just like, dude, you should give it a shot. You could do very well. So I did give it a shot. I won the teen division, took first in novice, which is all first-time competitors. And then I took second in my open class, which was pretty big. So that's like everybody from my height range, which was like 5'7" to 5'9". So it was like 6 dudes. Took second. I was 19, so it was kind of cool. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. So then switched to the natural world.
And were those like wait, so that wasn't a natural competition?
No, that was the that was NPC that I started in.
And did you just not know that it wasn't natural just because you were just starting?
I knew it. I just the coach I had at the time said it was my best bet because he knew I had a good physique. And he's like, it doesn't matter if you're on anything or not, because you'll do pretty well. And it'll get you some recognition, which it did. If I would have went the natural route from the start, I wouldn't have gotten a lot of recognition. Okay. So it was a good stepping stone.
So do you feel like a beginner would benefit from doing the NPC before?
Oh, yeah. Get eyes on you, man. I would say get eyes on you.
Is it just because there's more people paying attention to it, like
Way
you were
more.
saying before?
Way more, yeah.
Okay.
Way more.
And how does that... Are you saying it gets you recognition if you're trying to be pro? Like coaches reaching out to you, or
an
just
influencer? Even if you're trying to be an influencer or get sponsorships, if you're trying to be, an influencer, whatever it is, you're gonna get a lot more eyes on you and a lot more exposure being an NPC competitor, because that's just where all the looks are. Yeah. Big supplement companies aren't looking at natural bodybuilding. Okay. Like, dude, I was in that Generation Iron, the new one that came out, the Natty for Life one, because I did the Natural Olympia last year, and they were filming there, and they got like a little reel of me competing at the show, and like even that, like that's the biggest sports documentary for bodybuilding, and I was in that, and it like that did nothing for me.
Really? What is it called? I don't even know.
Generation Iron.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I actually have seen. It's a documentary though.
Yeah. Big documentary.
Is there multiple like episodes, or
It's just a single documentary. It's like a movie. So Generation Iron, that was the fourth one. So they do different. They
So they've
focus on different things. So like
Okay.
Generation Iron 1 had a different plot. This one was focused on natural bodybuilding and like why doesn't it get hype? You know,
Okay.
why doesn't? And I mean, big name guys in the fitness industry that. Like Schwarzenegger and
Mm-hmm.
you know old Mr. Olympias, you know your Ronnie Coleman's and stuff. They all talk about you know bodybuilding in general and you know natural compared to enhanced bodybuilding and Mike O'Hearn. I don't know if you ever heard of Mike O'Hearn. He's in
I've
there
heard
too.
that name.
He's a big fitness influencer.
Okay.
He's in the documentary. So yeah, like even that for example didn't really do much for me.
No.
So
Damn, I didn't even know. I think I've heard of that previous, I don't know if you'd call it episodes or whatever, previous focuses Generation Iron, because I do recognize that name, but I didn't know you were in one.
yeah, it
That's
was
fucking
cool, man.
sick. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, it was dope. I didn't even know I was in it. Actually, I did like I said, I did the Natural Olympia.
Oh, it was
And,
at the competition.
yeah, they filmed me at the show. I didn't even, because we knew they were filming. We knew they were going to be there to film for
Yeah.
the documentary. So we were all like, oh, cool. But we were focused on competing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I didn't even win the show. I got like 7th.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like 25, 30 competitors. Like, it was a massive show.
Yeah,
People from all over the world.
so you
It
still
was
did well.
nuts. So, yeah, I still did well. But yeah, the guy that won the show, because me and him follow each other on Instagram, he messaged me. He's like, bro, you're in the documentary. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, like check it out. You have like a 15-second like up close. It's like me hitting a pose.
Yeah.
Like it's just me.
Perfect.
And he's like, yeah, dude, check it out. You're in there. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, are you in it too? He's like, no. I'm like, dude, you won. How are you not in it? And he's like, I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. So I'm like,
They liked
maybe
you.
I should have won. I don't know.
Maybe you should you should tell him that.
No,
Looks like I won, bro. Looks like I won in the
Dude, that was
documentary.
hands down the most controversial show I ever did, man.
Okay.
Like I brought a package that I thought
Would win.
could have won.
Yeah.
I have pictures standing next to guys that were in the top 5.
Is it really subjective like that?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, it really is. Bodybuilding in general is subjective, man. You can have a great physique and that'll do you a lot, but if you don't have a big following, and at least for me in the natty world, this is how it was. If you don't have a big following, if you're not working with a big name coach, if you haven't done the show 3-4 years in a row and you haven't like invested into them, there's no return.
Really?
Like I brought a great physique. I easily could have been top 5. Like I have a picture on my phone. If I show you, you'd be like, dude, you should have won. But yeah, it's just I was nobody from Minnesota. I didn't have a lot of backing.
Where was it?
Vegas.
Vegas?
Yep. At the Rio.
Okay.
So that's just how it goes, man.
And that was the first year you did it?
Yeah, that was the first year I did that show.
You're gonna keep doing it then?
I can't anymore.
No.
'Cause
Oh,
it's
it's
a
the
natty show.
natural.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I could see that because I feel like bodybuilding is popular, but like it has its following. But yeah, it's they probably want to take advantage of their fans. So promoting their more popular social media guys, like I get it, but it is probably a shame, especially if you feel the way you're saying you feel. Like, did you feel robbed? Like, did you actually feel robbed?
I felt like I didn't get really what I deserved.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it happens, and call it selfish, call it what you want, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding, dude.
Yeah.
Like there was, like I said, there's pictures of me standing next to guys that were in the top 5,
Yeah.
and it was like even the commentators, because they have nothing to do with the judges, but the commentators were even like, Michael Zanotti, we got him placed in top 5. I mean, I was like a talked about guy going into that show. Like they were talking about me as being a guy that was going to dethrone the reigning champ of that division. So I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And yeah, dude, it was just a lot of shit was super weird that didn't add up. Like we got on stage, and before I didn't even get into my first pose yet. It was all of us, all 25 of us. And how it goes is you're normally up on stage, it's all of you, and you do a routine. So you hit your front shot, they'll have you do your side shot, back shot, other side shot, and then the front. So like they have you quarter turn. So you're doing these turns, and that's when they start to pick like, okay, I want this guy next to this guy, and then you get put into groups. It's like the first call out, second call out, third call out. So your first call out's your top 5 guys. So before I even got into my front shot, like I'm literally walking out on, they call my number, I go out onto stage.
Is it 1 by 1?
Yeah, it's 1 by 1. There's like 20 guys. So
Okay.
I was one of the last ones. Before I literally even I just had gotten into my front shot, and they were already going through for the first call. They're like, you, and you. And we were all like, oh, they're breaking us off. That's it.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a smaller group so they can judge. But no, dude, those first 5 that were called, that was already their first call. It was like predetermined. Like they already knew like these guys are going to be our guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what?
So in the middle of your moment for them to judge you, they were already picking other people.
They already had it picked. Yeah, it's like there's no physical way you went through 25 guys. Yeah. Being that, especially the guys
even done.
The guys that were the last couple ones to come on, they weren't even like in their pose yet. Yeah. How did you have a top 5? You didn't. There was no judging.
Do you see that a lot where it seems kind of fixed?
That was the first time I had ever seen that. That was the first time I ever did the show. I've never seen anything ran like that before. That was kind of next level of like, all right, something's fishy.
Something's up here.
They do it in the MPC as well, but I think it's a little more open-minded. Yeah. Like if you bring a stellar physique, they're not going to overlook it. Yeah. Just because this guy's won 3 different titles. Yeah. They're a little better at it, but there's still politics for sure. Mm.
Yeah, man. Well, it sounds like the documentary saw who was what.
Yeah.
If they give you, they had to go over that. They had to edit that. They definitely chose you.
Why wasn't number 1 put in there, man? You tell me. You tell me.
Or 2 or 3
or 4 or 5
or 6.
No, they did me, man, for whatever reason.
Yeah, man, they liked you. You should have called them up and say, why aren't
Maybe
you guys fucking
smile?
judging?
I don't know.
They liked you.
They picked me for some reason, but no, it was a great opportunity, man. I was extremely blessed. Yeah. I was kind of hoping it was going to go somewhere. I was kind of hoping they'd reach out and be like, hey, we want to give you a shout out, or I was hoping at some point somebody would be like, hey, who's this guy? Reach out to them and be like, who's this guy from the documentary? Like, we want to, but nothing came out of it.
Were you thinking for like
sponsorships?
Sponsorships, yeah. And is it work like that a lot in bodybuilding? It's just kind of seeing you, especially now with technology and social media. Is it a lot of just seeing you on this clip or that clip of social media?
Yeah, dude, and it's like it depends on the vibe you give off too, because different brands look for different things. Like for example, if you're looking at like a Gymshark or Alpha Elite, you're looking for like that clean cut, fitness, shredded look, versus like if you're looking for someone that's going to be a sponsor for like grunt style, it's going to be just a raunchy, tatted up military dude, big beard, badass guns, thick boy. It's just different styles. It's all what you, dude, it's the same for what you do, man, with acting. They're looking for a certain character to fit a certain role, and it's very specific.
They want it to fit their brand.
Like you may be, for example, like there's probably a lot of opportunities that you'll miss out on because you have long hair. Oh yeah. They don't want a long hair guy for this one. They 100%. They want somebody with blonde long hair instead of brown. Somebody with straight hair, not curly. It's that subjective.
Yeah, that's the thing too with acting that needs to be, or not needs to be. I need to understand that more myself, and I've come to understand that as well. Is I guess it's both. I think you can go, like some projects will have very specific, I think, type person they're looking for, and that's held higher than maybe even if they're one individual or another is a better actor or not. Yeah. And maybe someone will come in and really wow them with, say, their skill of how good of an actor they are, and they'll change some things of what they're looking for. But the hair, you picked on it especially. I've kind of been told I want it long, obviously, but people say, like, I've been told I will have less opportunity because a lot of roles don't have men with long hair, but of those opportunities that are there's like less competition. So I don't know if that's fucking true or not. I just think, honestly, at this point, I like having long hair, and it gives you the option to cut it. If someone loves you, then I can cut it. You can't just grow hair tomorrow.
If it's a big role, you'll obviously cut your hair. Yeah, if it's a big role where someone looks at you and goes, hey, we want you for this, but you got to cut your hair. Done.
And I love the idea of like Game of Thrones. Like that type of role would be so fucking badass. Dude, and all those dudes have long hair, a lot of them.
You take 2 inches off your hair, dude, you're fucking Jon Snow.
Yeah, bro. So I wish they were still shooting that shit.
Man.
Or Sons of Anarchy. Like anything like that, that would be, in my mind at least, I haven't done it yet, but that would be so fucking fun to do. Like those sets got to be a blast. I just did a short film where I got to ride a motorcycle in it, and I was just pumped for that because
That's badass.
I hope that can lead to like, okay, he can ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
More roles like that. Like that'd be fucking sick.
Dude, I could see myself being like in a fucking like war movie.
Oh, you could for sure.
In a military movie for
Bro,
sure.
you could be like Mark Wahlberg type military. What is the
Marky Mark?
What is the?
We started the same way, man. He started in his underwear. I started in mine. Dude, it's
well, what is the
got
movie?
a lot going on here.
What is the famous movie that he did like 2, 3, 4 years ago?
Pain or Gain?
That's a good one, but no, the military one, the true story one where they get trapped.
Yeah, dude. He wasn't in
Lone Survivor.
Was he in Lone Survivor?
Yeah,
he's the main guy. Okay.
Yeah, bro, you could be in those for sure.
Dude, I'm a fire rocket.
And if
They
you
wouldn't
got
even
into
need to get me
acting,
mad.
it'd be perfect because, again, you're a guy with military experience, so they would easily cast you if obviously you're a comparable actor in military roles.
Yeah. I should try, man.
You should, for real. Like, and that's an avenue I think for bodybuilding too. Like, you could even pursue later.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You get big and you get like a big name like that.
Yeah,
it'd be easier for me to be like, hey, if you guys are ever looking for a casting for a military film or whatever 100%. It is, let me know.
Even if you're like, you don't have to be the lead. You can do very,
Dude, I'll be an
very
extra.
fucking well making.
I'll be an extra.
Yeah, bro. Extras. It's fun being an extra because I've done they call it background now. I think it was offensive to people or something calling it extra, but doing background work is cool because you just get to see, especially on big projects, you get to see like a studio, like a big massive studio. You get to see how those sets work, whether you're in a studio or like I've done background work downtown before I even lived there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You see how many people, I've kind of talked about this before, behind the scenes on sets. There's a lot of fucking people, especially those big ones, like 100 people, more than that, probably even more than I'm aware
easily.
of. And I did not know that. I was unaware of that going into all this shit, how many people would be kind of behind the scenes like that. And it's a fuck ton.
Oh, do you got guys that are there that don't even end up doing anything? They're just there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Extras, like they call them cattle calls. Like I did one for the lake. It was called like, it was called Showtime Lakers to us. Sometimes they don't tell us the actual name or if they don't know it yet, so it's still kept kind of secret. But it was about Magic Johnson. I've not seen it come out yet, but it was about, I think, Magic Johnson's time as a Laker. Yeah. So we had literally like 200 of us to be like the crowd at a basketball game. And yeah, easily like that one, everyone got used, but there's other ones that even if it's like 50 people, like I did one where it was actually in, was it Little Fires Everywhere? I'm in the background on one of those scenes, way in the back. You can't fucking see me unless you really, really, really look. But it was a bar scene. It was like a 70s bar, whatever. So they would need probably like 40 people in there, and they probably had like 70 people. So some people literally go there and just it's an easy side gig. It's an easy like side job, or like for even like teenagers or younger people, just like a summer job. But you can go there and just kind of try to hide in like it's called holding, where you stay before you're on set or while you're not needed. Yeah. People just go in there. They can read. Like you could literally go there and work if you were working on your computer and just like you're getting paid.
Just wait for your number to get called.
Yeah. I had one for, it was called not Dear John, but something John.
John Wick?
Not John Wick, I wish.
That'd be badass.
I haven't done any movies. I've done just a lot of TV shows for background. What was it? It was something John on Netflix. But whatever. I was there all day. Like 12-hour day, and I wasn't even needed on set until literally the very last take.
Damn.
So you could really be productive with other shit while you're just sitting there getting paid. Unfortunately, I did not bring like shit to do that day, so that was kind of boring. But
bad.
But yeah, man, you could do very well if you made a name for yourself, either in that or like fucking The Rock, dude. He came from pro wrestling.
Yeah, his first like big film was like Walking Tall or something.
Sure. Dude, I love that movie too.
That's a great movie.
But he was super famous for that. Like obviously Schwarzenegger came from bodybuilding. Like there's definitely, it's been done before, and that's the thing too. Is like maybe it doesn't happen all the time, but it's clearly been done before and it's doable. Yeah. Like if you just whatever, you make a name for yourself in that, you could literally start slowly taking classes, like literally now, once a year, twice a year, and then kind of slowly, because it's going to be a long fucking journey. Like,
yeah, no, it's probably no joke. and it takes serious time to. Yeah, acting's a lot, man. It's more than just, I mean, because obviously I do some modeling too, and it's night and day. I mean, it's a different world being an actor.
Yeah,
it involves a lot of work. Modeling's fucking easy, man.
Yeah,
You just gotta look
just,
good.
Yeah.
You just look good. That's it.
Yeah.
What am I doing today?
Exactly.
We're doing a beach shoot. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll bring my
oil. What are you? Because I know you've done some shoots like that. Because you come out. I can't talk right now. You've been to Arizona.
Yeah.
Did
not
you come
for a
out?
Shoot.
Not for a shoot.
No, I've been to L.A., Hollywood, Miami, St. Petersburg, Tampa.
It's kind of all the beach, the coastal.
Yeah.
And are you getting like, are they requesting you to come out here for this like sponsorship shoot, or how is it working out, I guess, for you to go out there like that?
So I was fortunate enough when I went to, so my first big gig was LA, and I managed to pick up a sweet opportunity with a big male model who resides in St. Petersburg, but he at the time was living in LA. And so I reached out to him because one of my buddies from here had shot with him before, back when he used to model. And he's like, hey, hit this dude up. The guy's got like 140,000 followers on Instagram. He's a big name. Probably one of the biggest male model photographers. He's like, hit him up, see if he gives you a chance, whatever. So I hit him up, and within 3 hours he replied. He's like, let's set some up. Can you talk on the phone tomorrow? So I was like, didn't expect the response that fast. Long story short, he ends up telling me that he basically was looking in his requested messages, which he never looks in. Like once every 3 months he looks in them. But he was looking for a specific message from someone, and he came across mine, and he saw like my bio pic, and it seemed pretty like, because I probably had like a bodybuilding picture, like a legit one. Yeah. He's like, oh, this dude seems legit. So he looked at my thing, and that's how he got back to me. But
just perfect
timing. So he gets back to me. He's like, hey, I'm in LA. I'll fly out. You're not going to get paid for this gig, but I'll fly you out, see how you do under the lights, see how people like you. And then, 2 shoots, or then we did one more shoot in, we did Florida. We did St. Petersburg. And then he, before I left, was like, hey, I want to start managing you. I want you to start working with me. You do well. And so, I started working with him since, and he's now my manager.
Oh, so, fuck yeah, dude. I didn't know you had a manager.
Yeah, he works with me for that stuff. He finds me projects. And
that's dope.
So now ever since that day, I've gotten paid for all my gigs now. Yeah, so
that's fucking dope.
I get flown out, free stay, free food the whole time, and then, I get paid too. So
that's the shit.
Yeah, it's sweet, man. Coming from, I mean, it was still cool before. I was like bragging, all my buddies like, oh, I'm getting flown out to LA. It's gonna be so sick. It's a game changer, dude. Getting paid for it.
Doing it for free is definitely, obviously, like any resume builder, you gotta probably do it a little bit at some point. But dude, there's obviously that tipping point where you want to get paid for it.
I used to pay to have photos done.
Oh yeah.
That's how that's when you really are grinding.
Yeah.
I used to, like, all these fitness photographers that I've shot with, dude, I would pay like $200. And you have to pay to buy your pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Versus now it's like, I'll do a shoot with my guy, Michael Downs out of Florida. I'll do a shoot with him, and I get sent all these edited sweet pics. He's like, hey, you can post these, blah, blah, blah. He can't send me all of them because he has to post some of it for his page, or else he makes no money. Yeah. But ones that he's not going to use, he just sends to me. He's like, hey, or if he posts it, he'll send it to me because it's already out there. So, it's a game changer.
And is he trying to get you linked up with sponsors?
Yeah, he's still working on hooking me up with, he's been messaging the marketing guy for Rain Energy Drinks.
Okay.
So
those are good.
Yeah, he's been messaging that guy. The guy likes his content and his models, so he's trying to get me to be one of those, because I'm one of his bodybuilders. Yep. So that'd be dope.
Yeah, those are really good.
Rain.
I was drinking, what did you fucking have? The Bangs.
Yeah.
For a while, but then I started switching to Rain. I just liked the flavors better, honestly.
Yeah, dude, fuck Bang, man. I messaged them so many different times trying to get sponsored, and they never
do it.
They never get back to me.
Bro, I should reach out to Antoine. He saw on that first podcast of mine. He's managing some guys as well, because like I said, he's doing a lot. And I think he just got one of his guys a Bang sponsorship.
Really?
Yeah, not a fitness dude.
Huh.
So I could see what's up.
I could, yeah.
You just said fuck Bang though, so fuck him.
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
yeah, I'll cut that out.
If it works out, we'll edit this out. Yeah. No, man, but I like I said, I like to stay, kind of like we talked about it, I like to stay true to people that I actually enjoy their products. I drink Bangs, but
yeah, I think Rain's flavors were better.
I like backstories too, and like Bang is just, their vibe is just like sexy, hot girls and this and parties and that. And
Yeah.
it's awesome, dude. Like, they got really good looking women on there. That would be pretty cool. But I would much rather work for, or like be sponsored by like a Total War Redcon one, you know, something that's like they're very military to, you know, pro military. They, you know, just the different ethic.
Yeah, they got a different
Different
target,
vibe to them.
target
Yeah.
market.
Because I'm more of like a brash, like rough edge dude.
Yeah,
that's.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
That's
not
the
like
look.
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I agree with that 100%. When I was getting messages for sponsorships like nutrition, I forget, there was a handful of nutrition supplement companies, whatever, that would reach out, and it was just like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to promote anything that I don't know works, because I just don't feel like that's right. I don't know.
It's like for example,
I don't want anyone to take anything that I don't take, and I'm promoting it, but I don't even fucking believe in it or think it's a good deal or product, whatever.
But like, yeah, if I'm gonna get a sponsor, dude, I want to get something that's like something I can use all the time too. Like, I'm not always drinking Bangs.
Yeah, no.
I don't need like a sponsor. I mean, Reign's gonna be no different.
Mm-hmm.
But that would still be cool because they're an affiliate with Monster. So
Are they really?
yeah, I think Reign is under the umbrella of Monster, if I'm not
Is it
mistaken.
really? I didn't know that. Isn't Reign? This might be completely wrong. It might be a different drink, but wasn't Reign made by the Mountain from Game of Thrones?
He's a name behind them.
Okay, so he's just one of the guys.
He's like he's their biggest sponsor.
Okay.
Is
But they sponsor him.
Yeah.
So he's just like their biggest,
Yeah.
basically influencer, you could say.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It makes sense. Reign, the whole Roman thing. He's you know, from wherever the hell
Game
he's
of
from.
Thrones. Yeah, I don't know where he's actually from.
He's from like, why can't I think of it?
Isn't
Not
it like
Norway.
Eastern Europe,
Yeah, he's somewhere, dude. He's
like Romania or some shit.
It's like where all those Vikings are born. I can't think of where
Vikings
he's from.
would be like Norwegian, Norway, Sweden, Finland up there.
Iceland. He's from Iceland.
Iceland?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he's from Iceland. All those massive.
I may be mistaken, but I believe he has a brother that's even fucking bigger than him. I felt like I was looking him up one day and was seeing that.
Yeah, dude, he's like 6'7", like
Yeah,
almost 400 pounds.
Did you see him sparring with McGregor?
Oh yeah, it was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
People were talking shit on there because McGregor was outspeeding him, whatever you'd want to say, quicker and hitting him, but
Well, yeah, it's clearly they're messing around though. The dude's
yeah,
8 times your size.
Yeah.
They're not actually gonna go at it.
McGregor's obviously got way better technique, but if that's a situation where like if that dude gets a hold of you and gets a
You're
good
over.
grip on you,
Dude, he
yeah,
puts you on he sits on you, you're done.
yeah,
Like,
if he
that's a big
can
man.
get on top of you, you're fucked.
Skill goes so far until like pure size comes into
That's
effect.
what I mean. There's
you know?
that's kind of what I was saying before. There is a tipping point. I don't know where it is exactly, and it's different for probably different people who have different
Depends who
skill
you
levels.
are.
But it probably also matters like which style of say MMA the person knows.
Yeah.
Like if it's striking or if it's grappling, like that's probably going to affect it as well because. I just think it would. It's different. So the techniques are different. The things you're trying to do are different. So the other person's size and strength, how it affects that's going to be different.
Yeah, it's you're just different styles of fighting, man.
Yeah.
Between boxing, wrestling, and it's just a lot of shit.
So you guys don't do for National Guard. You don't do like a bunch of MMA training or anything.
Nah.
Do you
No,
wish you
there's like
did?
combatives training. Like you can volunteer to do combatives training, but
It's not required.
it's not required. No.
Do you think it should be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be amazing if
I'm
guys.
surprised
were-
it's not. To be honest.
If guys, yeah, I feel like we would have more faith in our soldiers to go out and do riot control and stuff if you actually knew hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
I mean, we know police tactics, we know zip tying and takedowns and stuff like that, but it's all cookie cutter shit.
Basic shit.
It's not like we ever practice. I wish we would have drills where we would go to drill and like roll around and
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't, to be honest, because it seems like very relevant, extremely relevant.
I mean, it's different times now too. It's like with the whole COVID thing. It's
how is that affecting? Obviously now you're out of the guard, but
we were having to wear masks when we'd go to drill, which was fucking stupid.
yeah.
But
How is it affecting though bodybuilding? Like are things all canceled? Is it all up in the air?
Dude, this year was a mess. Yeah, a lot of shows were canceled. I was supposed to go to the Arnold Classic and go work at the expo with my sponsor Snakebite, and they canceled the expo, and that's like the biggest part of the Arnold Classic is the expo.
Really?
Yeah. So that sucked. The Olympia
Is that in Vegas too? Or is that in LA?
Ohio, Cleveland,
Ohio?
or not Cleveland, somewhere in Ohio.
Somewhere in Ohio.
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
Somewhere. Yeah, it's the Vegas is where they do the Olympia, the
Okay.
real like Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
That's where they do it.
Is that your goal?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone just asked me on my Instagram the other day, and I had it on my story, but they were like, "What's your biggest fitness goal?" And honestly, right now, it's to get my IFBB Pro card
Okay.
before 25.
And what do you have to do to get that?
So you have to win. So I already had my pro cards in natural shows. Like I had a pro card in men's physique and men's classic. So I was a 2-time pro.
Yep.
But the IFBB is different. It's a little harder to get. Obviously, you're dealing with the NPC, guys with you're dealing with enhanced athletes is essentially what I'm getting at. So you have to win a national level show. There's different shows that qualify. Some shows are like a one and done. Like if you do the show and win, you get your pro card.
Yep.
But for the most part, yeah, you got to win a local show and then get qualified for a national show, do the national show, win that, or get like top. Sometimes it's like top 3 get
Really?
their pro card, depending on the size of the show.
So it changes with how many people are there?
Yeah, depending on the size of the show and the caliber. Yeah, it's like a junior national show. I think it's top 2 get their pro card. So yeah.
And that's just once every year? Or like how many are
They do
those?
so many different shows. There's like a show every month.
Okay, so there's a bunch of opportunities.
Yeah.
It's not it's
starting in
literally-
like March. It's
Okay.
like March and beyond. It's like all competitions.
And you can do any of those?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not, just like 2 guys a year fucking get in.
No, that's like old school bodybuilding. Back in the day, you only had like the Universe
Yeah.
or the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
You only had 2 shows.
Yeah.
So everybody would show up at those shows. And
And
the
that was
competition
kinda-
was deep.
That was the peak of all the...
Yeah. Versus now, it's like, dude, you got shows in so many different states all over the place. So many different times of the year.
Is it easier than to become pro at this point?
Oh,
basically?
yeah.
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 That's good.
Big time. Which is a blessing and a curse because you
Yeah.
got more pros, but there is more shows. So
Do you feel like it diminishes, or do probably older guys probably think, does it diminish the sport at all?
I don't
Having
think it
that many-
diminishes it. I think because at the end of the day, you have your big shows. Like you have your Arnold Classics, your Mr. Olympias. Those are the 2 biggest shows in bodybuilding. So if you're doing either of those shows, it hasn't diminished just because there's more pros. If anything, it just brings in more potential candidates of like being the next guy. When it comes to like bodybuilding as a whole, though, it kind of diminishes the status of being a pro because there's a lot more of them now.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the day where getting your pro card was tough. Like you had to win, like you had to take first place at this show and first place at this show, but you were going against crazy dudes from all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a different style nowadays.
And is bodybuilding, is it a global reach? Is there dudes coming in from all over the world?
Oh
Or
yeah,
is it,
dude,
is it dominant
the guy
US?
that just won the Mr. Olympia was last weekend. The guy that just won, Big Ramy, he's from Kuwait.
Really?
Yeah, he has to get a visa to come here.
Fuck yeah.
So
That's so cool, honestly, for guys to come
Yeah.
over here and just fucking win
it's
some
super
big ass
cool.
shit like that.
yeah,
Because I would imagine I have no idea, but it's probably not that huge. It's not a huge sport, I would guess, over there. So that's just someone.
Kuwait, it's actually really big.
Is it big? So I
Yeah,
just don't
they
even
have one
know.
of like the best, most intense. It's called Oxygen Gym. You should look it up sometime.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's
Okay.
like the epitome of gyms.
Really?
Yeah, it's
What
like
is it
a
called?
lifetime times 1,000. Like it's the raunchiness of like just big, huge bodybuilders,
Mhm.
but at like a super, just spotless location with
Yeah.
it looks like thousands of machines.
Fuck.
It's huge, like the size of like a super target.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Do you like the big box gyms, or do you like the?
I like the small
you
raunchy
like the
ones,
small
dude.
ones?
I like the little ones, the metal weights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's more of my shit.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I like the space that big gyms can have.
Yeah.
But in LA, like the big gyms are just fucking packed with people. So it's big, but there's a fuck ton of people there, so you don't
Yeah.
even have a lot of space. So yeah, the smaller gyms, if it has everything you need at this point, I think I would much rather go to one of those and just enjoy not as many people, having the space you fucking need, whatever it is, being able to use the shit that you need to use at the time.
Well, it's cool too, because when you go to those smaller gyms, you build so much more of a camaraderie with people that go there.
Yeah.
So you all train, you find your training buddies, you all go at the same time.
It feels more like a team.
Yeah. It's just like having like a little clique.
Yeah.
And you guys just go and you work out.
And you're coaching guys, you're like physique coaching, right?
Yeah, I do posing coaching.
And so are you guys technically a team then? Is that how that kind of works?
Well, I just coach guys individually. I don't really have like a posse or anything, but I just had a client that did some shows this year. I've had a total of like 10 clients under my belt.
Yeah.
Most of them have always gotten their best posing award at their shows. So I like to take credit in that, because every show I've done, I've gotten best posing award too. So I should say every show, but every show that had a possible outcome of winning best poser, I got the award. So yeah, I definitely credit myself on that, because it's an art, man. You can have the greatest physique ever, but if you can't showcase it and show it fluently, it's not gonna matter. It's worthless.
And what is like is it more individual? Like, okay, this guy's got to do whatever, turn harder here. Is it literally just all like flexing technique?
Well, you have your assets, man. You have like your assets and your strong suit. So you might have a bigger chest, you might have bigger arms, legs, back, whatever it is. You're critiquing your posing to show off your assets.
Okay.
So, for me, I have a really small waist, so I try to do a lot of side shots, because my waist doesn't exist from the side.
Yeah.
And I also have big quads, so I try to do a lot of like front shots too, because I have a good taper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just different for everybody. And yeah, some guys are more flexible, so they'll do a lot of ground stuff, the splits and stuff. And
really?
I mean, yeah, I've never been able to do the splits. And
do you find like, I guess that's just the subjectivity in the judges, right? Like there's not like the dude with the bigger chest always wins.
Nope.
Dude with the bigger arms always wins.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you can have a guy that clearly looks like he's a winner, but his posing might be shit.
Yeah.
Or he's...
And that's a whole, I would guess, yeah. If he's really put together and looks great, but yeah, he's like clunky. I would guess you could see dudes who are clunky, whatever, just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, some guys are super stiff. They don't have
that stands out in a negative sense.
Yeah, or like it can be something little, dude. Your tan could be off a little bit. Some guy looks a little better. His tan's that's how subjective.
That's subjective.
It is. Yeah.
Damn. So yeah, that's literally all up to the judges. And do you know who's judging beforehand? Like, do you know this guy kind of likes this type of shit? This guy likes this type of shit.
No, they don't. It's more or less. I mean, you might know the judges, and the biggest thing is you're trying to find. You want to do shows where judges are from the national stage.
Okay.
Because if they're doing national shows, they know, like, they're not going to be more. They're not going to be biased if they're from a national stage. Does that make any sense? Like, if you do a Minnesota show and it's all Minnesota judges, they're going to be biased, because at some way or another, they're going to know this guy or that guy or his coach.
Just like subjectively, you're saying?
Yeah. So it's nice to do those bigger shows, because you're getting a panel of judges that are from all over the place, and they don't know pretty much any of you. Okay. They might have heard of one or two of you based on being a big influencer or whatever, but... Yeah.
For the most part, it is actually like a pure first impression.
It's a pure I've never met you before. I like this guy's physique. He shows it well type thing. Versus in Minnesota, like, I'm a pretty well-known dude. So if I do a show here, people are going to know who I am, what I'm bringing.
Yep. Versus if you go to a different state.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And those national judges, are they just at just those bigger shows?
Yeah, for the most part. We might get one or two national judges that come pop into Minnesota, but yeah, it's pretty much the bigger stages. Like Chicago has a junior nationals. Okay. So just places like that.
Okay. Yeah, man. There's a whole lot of that.
It's a laundry list.
It is.
It's a lot of shit.
Everything's like that. You think you think you see, like, I get what they're doing. I know what's going on here. This guy looks like this. You're just like a casual fan of anything, and it's like any sport. You get into it and you realize, okay, there's a lot more rules, techniques to this than you'd ever fucking expect. And yeah, that one's bodybuilding's one where it's a surface level. Like, people from the outside just think, oh, this dude just wants to be just ripped. He just wants to be fucking big, whatever. And they don't know probably all the work and strategy and technique it goes into, like, appeasing these fucking judges. And
it's little things.
Yeah.
Little things, man. Like, your back might not have a good enough taper. So you have to work on that specific
By taper,
thing.
are you talking about like the V shape or
Yeah,
like
the
coming in
V-shape.
from to the waist?
Yeah, like the V shape
Yep.
of, you know, from shoulders to
Yep.
your rhomboids.
Yeah. Have you ever had any big injuries yet?
No,
No.
nothing.
Over there.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Yeah. Do you see that a lot?
I tore my hamstring last year, but it wasn't due to bodybuilding.
Okay.
I was playing in a pickup lacrosse game for like a banquet.
Just fucking around.
Just fucking around.
Yeah.
But I was bodybuilding at the time. I was like 6 weeks out from a show, so that fucking sucked. Yeah.
Did you have to cancel?
No, I still did the show.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do legs, which I was doing physique, so you're in board shorts, so it didn't matter so much. But yeah, I tore my hamstring. That fucking sucked. Luckily, it wasn't like a complete tear.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of minor.
Yeah, it was just a minor
I've done that before too.
tear, but it fucking hurt, man. I couldn't do anything with this leg for a while.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Did you just put like compression around it so it kept it real tight?
Yeah, kept it real tight, iced it a shit ton,
Yep.
and just tried to stretch it slowly, do like
Yeah.
little things. My massage therapist was telling me to do like leg curls,
Yep.
but super light, like 10 pounds. But just getting blood into it, it's going to help it recover faster than not doing anything to it.
Yeah, that's probably a great point. Just gets it in there so it can heal.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. They'll just be like, oh, I'm not going to touch it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But that's actually going to be worse because now you're still having to use it eventually, but it's going to be so foreign to movements
Yeah.
that it's going to take longer to heal.
Did you ever have someone, what is the, like if you pull I think John has actually talked about this because I think he's had some hamstring injuries as well where they
ACL?
like, no, where they go in and like, I don't know if they have a tool or whatever, but they're literally trying to like scrape your fucking
Yeah.
muscle.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
fibers like,
Graston work.
yeah, have you had that happen to you? Or have you had that done on you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The
How's
massage
that?
I get tonight, yeah, that's going to be all that.
So what the fuck do? They have like a tool that they're literally trying to like peel your fibers, right? So because they get like tight or something.
Yeah,
when
they
you
get
pull?
into a knot. So your muscle fibers, they tense up and they turn into a knot.
Yeah.
Basically what they do is they take a dull knife, and let's say my knot's here, they scrape it across that to try to break it down. It's painful. Super painful.
See, that's the part of massages that doesn't sound fun.
No, man. I mean, trust me, it helps big time.
Yeah.
Cause like for me, I get a lot of knots in my back.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I
Same.
get most of mine is like they're in my shoulder blades, like top of my back.
Mm-hmm.
So my massage lady's like, she's like 6'2". Like she's a strong woman competitor. So she's
really?
fucking huge. And she just lays her elbow into my back and just, yeah, it's really painful. But I tell you what, between that and chiropractic work, if you don't do those two things as a bodybuilder,
You're fucked.
your body's gonna be fucked up.
Damn.
And you'll have a very short career.
Yeah.
Because this game's all about longevity, dude. That's why, like, between that and even like with steroids,
I was gonna say
a lot of guys, they look at the short game. I need to get as big as I can, as fast as I can.
Yeah.
But you got to look at the other things, longevity. You got to look at, do you want to be, do you want to not be balding when you're, 40, 50 years old? You just got to be smart about it. Do you want to be fucking dealing with arthritis in your mid-30s?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you worried about any of that shit, or you feel like you know, or you've learned how to do it a right way where the side effects really shouldn't affect you?
I don't worry about it too much because I don't lift stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I lift reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I don't lift out of my comfort zones. I'm not doing heavy ass deadlifts. I'm not doing.
Is that what you think it is? Guys pushing their physical
yeah, dude.
limits
It's
because they
just-
feel
it's-
jacked?
Yeah, it's guys that they're strong, but your joints can only do so much.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of guys that are overdoing it end up with injuries and arthritis and tearing this and tearing that. And I'd rather just play the slow game
Yeah.
and progress over time.
So you feel like it's not as much taking too much, because I don't know shit about taking steroids, but you don't think it's taking too much like quantity per whatever session you say taking it? It's more guys taking it and then thinking I can fucking do anything. And
Yeah,
hurting
I mean,
themselves.
your strength increases. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. When you take certain things, you're stronger. You can push more weight. So
Mm-hmm.
then they do that. But the problem there is you just got stronger due to something that you're taking. Your ligaments and your joints haven't gotten to that level yet.
Yeah.
So you can push the weight, and it can happen, but that's purely based on your strength.
Mm-hmm.
Your ligaments and muscle fibers are still dealing with that. Let's say you put on 20 pounds. Your muscles are still used to that 20 pounds ago
Mm-hmm.
frame.
They got to get stronger too.
They have to get stronger too. That's why you got to play the slow game with this.
How long do you think it takes for that to kind of catch up? A year? 6 months?
It could be
maybe?
a year, man. Yeah, depending on how much size you put on.
Damn.
It could be a year. It's just Yeah, I never really was into the big heavy lifting anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll go heavy, but there's no need for me to do a 3-rep max.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to do how heavy can I squat for one.
Yeah,
That
it's just not your goal.
That proves nothing to me because that doesn't show on a stage.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can squat 500 pounds. All right, but what is that? You know, what is that? Unless I'm doing it for reps.
Yeah.
And growing from it,
Yeah.
what does that show on stage?
And what is, because I would always try to go, and the things I would learn, because I basically just taught myself everything I knew. Growth was what, like 8 to 12 reps. What is your whole
It depends what you're
knowledge
looking
about
for.
all that?
They say strength, if you're looking at like a holistic standpoint, strength is anywhere from 8 to 15 reps. That's like your strength. More 8 to 12 than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you're going to build strength. Anything from like 15 and beyond, that's your hypertrophy. So that's where you're strictly increasing the size of the muscle.
So you're doing a fuck ton of reps.
Yeah. So if you're doing like hypertrophy, it's 15 and beyond. Sometimes, 15 to 30.
So you're just exhausting your muscle.
You're exhausting the muscle, breaking it down. Versus those 8 to 12, that's all strength.
Okay.
It's not so much muscle size. You're working on strength. So yeah.
So I was probably doing, because when I first started lifting heavy, or not heavy, when I was like getting into it a lot when I was in college, right at the end of high school, actually, I dislocated my elbow my senior year of football, and then coming out of that injury, I was just like, it was my left arm. I'm right armed, so it was already small. I was small.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck it, I got to get in the gym and do something about this. And then that really developed into just loving doing it on my own, like we were saying earlier. But so at first, like my freshman year of college and that first summer before college and sophomore year of college, I was definitely trying to just be bigger. So I definitely should have probably been doing more reps. Because I didn't do heavy reps like that until I did a program just before I moved out to LA. And I forget who the dude was. It was from bodybuilding.com. But it would be like literally like 7 sets of almost everything.
FTS
coming
7.
From 30. You'd go 30 reps, 25, all the way down to like 5. And then you'd go right back up to 30.
Jesus.
So it was a lot, man. I was there for like almost 3 hours.
Yeah, see, it just gets to a point, and like it goes back to the old days of like what Arnold would say is like anything over 90 minutes, you're not really doing your body any justice.
Oh, really?
By going over that. Yeah.
Fuck, yeah,
like, you got to knock everything. That's why like the biggest thing now I see is guys are always on their phone. They're always doing.
Well, that's the thing. I would end up talking to people.
That's why I get in there, I bust my ass, and I'll have, if I work out for 45 minutes to an hour and I'm just phone down, headphones in, just beating myself up, I feel so much better than if I'm there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because it gets to a certain point where you're like, your muscles are so fatigued. You've been there for so long. Your glycogen levels are so depleted from working out continuously. That's why like that hour is perfect, because you deplete your glycogen levels. You've burnt the calories that you ate before the workout, and now you can go home and replenish and feed the muscles. There's no need to be there for 3 hours.
What is your diet? Do you have a specific diet?
Right now, it's just a bulk diet, dude. It's basically, I eat lean, but I just eat a lot. I try to eat between 5,000-6,000 calories a day.
Fuck, bro.
But it's a chore. But it's
I was struggling for 3.
It's tough, dude.
Are you doing a lot of shakes though?
I do a fair amount of shakes. Like if I have a lot of calories left before bed, I'll throw in like 4 tablespoons of peanut butter and 2 scoops of protein, some berries, whatever, some oats, and do like a shake. But just a lot of rice, a lot of jasmine rice, and a lot of meat, dude. A lot of beef, steak, chicken.
I see you posting. You're grilling all the time.
All the time. I love grilling, man. That's another thing that sucks about living here, man, is you gotta try to go break the grill out.
Yep.
In the middle of winter.
Tonight, you're gonna grill tonight?
No, I luckily meal prepped, and I have some beef that I'll cook.
Yeah.
But
do you like venison?
Love it.
Oh, I love venison. That's a great thing about coming home here. I guess if my dad, he shot a deer this year. He got a nice buck. So
so he's got all the.
We got a good bunch
summer
of
sausage
venison. Yep. Summer sausage. He makes breakfast sausage. He makes venison jerky. All of it. He'll have like a venison roast. John got a buck this year too.
Oh hell yeah!
I think it might have been his first year, which is dope.
Yeah, that's super dope.
It's fucking.
Have yet to shoot a deer, but I've seen my dad shoot one.
Yeah.
I just haven't been hunting enough. I don't have enough buddies that still go. They all do bow hunting.
Same. I honestly have never shot one. My dad has hunted. So I've been around it my whole life. I went a few times when I was younger, but as a kid, I hated getting up so early. So I'd and it's winter.
Grind.
I was like, dude, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to go walk.
Yeah, and it's freezing.
In 0-degree weather in the
you're
woods.
Walking a mile and a half to your stand.
Yeah,
it's colder than shit up there.
I never really sunk into doing that. So I did it a few years. I got like my hunting license and all that shit, gun safety. But haven't been as much as probably you'd expect for someone's dad who does it all the time. But
Yeah.
John's really got into it this last, I think, couple seasons. And yeah, he got I think it was his first year this last.
Yeah, I've gotten big into bird hunting. But
Bird hunting?
Yeah.
See, I've been duck hunting when I was a kid, and that was really
Duck's
fucking fun.
Goose is really fun too.
We went goose this last year.
No
Didn't
luck.
get anything. It turned into we were at, but actually Macy's, my brother's fiance's farmhouse. They own this farmland up north. I forget where it is. And they got these beavers there.
Oh.
So this goose hunt up at the farm turned into
Beaver hunt.
beaver hunt.
It's funny how
Because
that
they're
changes.
damming up all this land and flooding a bunch of land.
Those little fucks, dude. They'll chew at your house.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them, dude. There's
Yeah,
a fuck ton of them.
they don't play games.
No, it's
They do
crazy
not
up
play
there.
games.
Yeah,
No,
bro.
that's-
That was going a little off topic there, but
Yeah.
I wanted to ask too with being on gear. You got to go soon?
No, I was
Okay.
just looking. I didn't even know what time it was.
Okay,
We've just
yeah.
been talking.
How long have we been?
What is it,
2:17.
2:17. That's not bad. All right.
I was just gonna ask, do you pair with being on gear? Like, do you take testosterone, or do you take like any other supplements to help that, so it's like maybe healthier for you, or just works better?
I mean,
just-
I'm not on anything nuts where I have to be on any like precautionary stuff. But most guys, if you get into like some strong orals,
I mean, it's like
D-ball, Deca, Anadrol, those are really
I've heard of that
they're
one.
really toxic on your liver. So you'll want to take a liver support,
Okay.
and a lot of guys don't do that, but you definitely want to take like a liver and kidney support on those because they're extremely toxic on your organs.
Okay,
So
like kidney failure type shit.
yeah, just like cirrhosis, stuff like that, like stuff you would get from drinking, because it's just that toxic. I mean, you're putting a foreign substance in your body, and it has to get broken down through that area. So, just I just keep up on little things, dude, like fish oil for my joints, because obviously being 30 pounds heavier, I'm lifting heavier. So I just try to be smart with that. I do fish oils. I take magnesium for soreness and muscles, and then I do a multivitamin too and vitamin D, just little shit like that.
And do you teach yourself all this just fitness knowledge?
A lot of my supplement knowledge came because I worked at Vitamin Shop.
You did?
In high school, yeah. So I worked
I
there.
love Vitamin Shop.
Yeah, I worked there for like 5 years, man.
Damn.
And I learned everything through my coworkers. They were all older guys, had a lot of knowledge. My boss was super sophisticated in supplementation. Like, he knew every product in that place and everything about anything you could ask him. So yeah, that helped big time. I learned a lot about, just basic vitamins that you would take for, milk thistle's huge for like liver support too.
What is it?
And it's called milk thistle. It's like
thistle.
I want to say it's like it'd be compared to like taking like a oh shit, what would you even compare it to? It's like almost like a plant. It's like a plant in a pill.
So it's just like
But it's-
greens?
Yeah, kind of. It's like greens in a pill in a way.
Yeah.
It's like a powder. That's super good for your liver too. So a lot of guys will do that for liver support.
Okay.
Like a lot of like legitimate liver supports that you would take for like, anabolic steroids, a lot of it'll have milk thistle in there.
Okay.
It's really good for your internal organs. So yeah, it's just crazy, man. There's a lot of shit you need to learn before doing something like that, making that jump, because
100%.
you're dealing with some very toxic stuff, and if you mess around with the wrong doses, there's guys that die.
Fuck.
So you definitely gotta be careful.
Like is it an overdose? It's an OD?
No, not
Or is it
necessarily,
just
but like
liver failure?
a lot of guys, like there was a bodybuilder just a couple years ago that died, but it was because he was taking insulin. So when you take insulin, you have to be super specific on like when you take sugars in. You couldn't just pin insulin and then go like work out. Like you have to hit it, and then you have to eat something like almost immediately. You have like a 30-minute window. If you don't, you're gonna black out. Like you'll go into a hyperglycemic shock. So I'm pretty sure he pinned, and he wasn't gonna eat like anytime soon or something like that. And so he started to like feel lightheaded and like he was gonna black out. So he tried to eat something, and he ended up like, I think he choked on his food, and that's how he ended up dying.
Wow.
So it wasn't even really from the steroids.
Some
it was
weird
because he
fucking
was
tragedy.
he choked and died on his food.
Fuck,
So
dude. see, that's obviously that's tragic, but talking about it, I think, is obviously healthier. Makes a healthier culture than lying about it. And
exactly.
Then dudes get into it, don't probably get the right information. They think they got to hide it, so then they don't ask questions and probably learn from other people, and then something fucking fucked up happens.
Fucking idiot that doesn't know anything. And
yeah, because I've heard of some people just kind of fucking around, not even bodybuilders, just people I know that would just like to try it, whatever.
Yeah, taking like testosterone.
Yeah. I've definitely had a lot of friends take testosterone. I've never touched any of that shit other than just simple protein and creatine, just because
it's common, dude. Like,
I just didn't feel knowledgeable enough to like, I don't want to fuck with my. Not that I'm against doing it. I would like to try, but if I was going to try it and actually be serious about it, yeah, I'll definitely need to learn.
Oh, big time. Yeah, and like I have a lot of knowledgeable people that I talk to, but even then, like, you still have to have like the capability to do your own research too.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to a lot of guys that say a lot of stuff that's great, but you constantly got to be reading up on like what's new, doing your own research is essentially what I'm getting at. Because you can hear from everybody under the sun about what you should be doing, but sometimes they know what's good for them.
Exactly.
Not necessarily what's good for you.
I was gonna say it's case to case too.
Yeah.
Your own body's obviously different, size, weight.
Oh, whatever. 100%. And you might, some of it's specific on blood types.
Really?
Like, certain blood types can't take certain things. Wow. It's like Anadrol, one of those orals I brought up. Blood type A doesn't do super well on that. You get really high blood pressure.
Okay.
So like, I could never do that because I'm blood type A positive. So
damn.
Yeah, just little shit like that people wouldn't think about. Then they go to the doctor. My blood pressure is through the roof.
You're like, what's going on?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking this. And
if they tell me.
Yeah, that's if you decide to tell them.
Yeah.
So
what did your doctor say? Were they like, I guess because it is maybe frowned upon or whatever. See, I don't even know like the legality of all that shit.
I didn't tell my doctor I was getting on. I more or less hinted at it, like, hey, I'm going to be, I'm in bodybuilding, and I plan to switch to, the dark side of the sport. I just want to get a blood test, see what my levels are at.
So he knew what it meant.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't dumb. Yeah. I had went to him a couple times, and I knew he was a trustworthy dude. So I just told him that, hey, I want to get some blood work done just to make sure I'm not messing with anything. And I knew what my base levels were at, which is a good judgment too, because then you do your first cycle, then it's you PCT, it's like post-cycle therapy. Mm-hmm. So you have to take these different supplements to kind of get your normal hormones back.
Okay.
Because basically when you're taking anabolic steroids, your balls shut off.
Yeah.
Like they don't produce because you're getting such a high amount of outside testosterone that they don't feel the need to work.
They get fucking lazy.
Yeah, just they just get lazy, and so your balls literally they literally shrink.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you get on some different things that kind of help you get your production back and your hormones, and then once your levels drop back to normal, like baseline, then you can wait a couple weeks and then start another cycle.
Your balls come back, everything's good.
Oh yeah, you take some stuff, HCG, you take a couple shots of this here and there, and you're good to go.
Make sure they're working.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got to make sure you take that stuff into account.
Yeah, man. I mean,
you don't want to just go cold turkey. You don't just want to.
Would that cause issues? Or is it higher potential?
It is controversy, man. Some people think it's better. They think you recover faster and your levels go back to normal faster, but there's the flip side of it where you're literally going from doing this and your body sits here and then you're throwing it into shock.
Yeah.
At least when you PCT, you're starting here, but you're slowly getting back down to normal again.
So do you wean yourself off the?
Yeah, exactly. It's like coming off of cigarettes. You wouldn't want to just go from I smoke a pack a day to I'm not going to smoke at all. You wouldn't do that. It's not realistic. So you start here, you ease your way down when you're doing that, and that's kind of like what doing a post cycle is essentially. Is you are kind of just telling your body, hey, we're going to come back to normal now. I'm going to help you through this process instead of just being like, oh, we're done.
And are you through your first cycle?
Yeah, I did my last week was my last time.
So do you feel like side effect? Like, do you feel your temper is shorter or anything like that as it's coming off, or as you're
No, man, I was at such low levels
or
such low doses, it didn't really affect too much. But and I also, the things I was taking, like testosterone and stuff, they stay in your system for a couple weeks still. So my body hasn't even let go of it yet.
I feel that.
So
it's like the half-life of whatever it is.
Yeah, the half-life's pretty strong. So or pretty lengthy. So it'll take 3-4 weeks until my body starts to realize it's not getting it, and then it'll start to go back.
And are you expecting to feel side effects then, or you think it's just so subtle you'll just kind of not even?
Oh, it'll be subtle, man.
It'll be subtle.
And plus I'll be on my PCT by then, 'cause you wait like 2 weeks and then you get on PCT.
Oh, so you do stop.
So yeah, you don't do anything for 2 weeks, but you're technically still within cycle because your body still has it, and then you start your PCT like after it's like 14 days. I think I'm doing.
Damn, bro. So I think it's fun just learning this shit.
It's cool, man.
It's like a whole other game.
It's
bro.
a science
literally
for sure.
Science of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It adds just a whole different conversation.
Just mixing
and
chemicals
element.
and compounds. And
You're doing chemistry.
Yeah. It's
That's
pretty
fucking
cool.
dope.
It's cool, yeah. It's just it's cool if you're safe about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, people put such a bad stigma on it, like, oh, you're injecting this and doing that. It's like,
yeah,
you can get injectable like vitamin B12. Is that bad?
There's a documentary too that I remember watching. I wish I remembered what it was, on steroids. I watched this a few years ago because there was a guy who had two brothers. I think one of them was in powerlifting, and he was a user, and then one of them was trying to be like a WWE guy, and he was a user. And this,
what you're talking about is three brothers.
This specific brother was against it, but wanted to research it and actually made a film about it. And he basically, his kind of point was that overall steroids are very much demonized.
I'm pretty sure it's called Better, Faster, Stronger.
It might be something like that. It was really cool because it basically at the end kind of at least gave me the impression that steroids at this point have basically been demonized. Like, obviously if you do it wrong it can be bad, but if you do it right and you're smart about it, it's really not that big of a deal. Your body will recover if you get off it, whatever. That it's kind of like been demonized like marijuana has been in the past, of like this horrible thing, and it's really not.
Well, dude,
it's really not.
If you really
want
to get specific too, look at modeling and acting. You think these dudes are landing these roles? For example, what's one that would have just? What's a good prime example of that?
For a dude using?
Like when that guy goes and plays Thor. You think he's just getting on a diet?
Yeah.
And playing that role?
The turnaround fucking shit.
Dude, yeah, these guys. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Stallone.
The Rock. Dude, come on. These guys that are landing these, the kid that did that played in Creed. You think these guys are just going out there
Michael B. Jordan,
getting shredded in, X amount of weeks from just working out? No, dude. It's, if you want to talk about substance abuse, look at, like, seriously, acting. Acting's horrible for it.
For the fitness.
Because these guys are making, they got to make weight and look a certain way in such weeks, and they got to maintain that through the whole process of the production.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so hard.
So that probably doesn't match up with the cycles.
No, I mean, these guys are having, like, so that's just that's my 2 cents on it. It's everywhere.
I mean, you're obviously experienced.
Bodybuilding gets it big time because we're such a public eye in it, and we produce the freaks.
Yep.
And the most extreme version of it, but dude, it's in Hollywood, man. Like, steroids are in Hollywood, without a doubt.
I mean, you hear about it definitely, guys who are, especially like with The Rock being, I don't know for sure if he's taking them. It's kind of definitely talked about and assumed because
he's started in the WWE. Yeah. Anybody in the WWE does.
And he's over 50 and still looking how he's looking.
Yeah, he's doing Jack what he's doing. City still.
And then I don't know. But I was gonna ask, what is for a show coming up, where do you want to be in your cycle? Do you want to be completely off it? Do you want to be in the middle of it when you're doing a show, or how does that strategize?
You would time it specifically. So like you would have like a prep cycle.
Okay.
So like there's bulking cycles and then there's prep cycles.
So
that wouldn't matter too much. You obviously don't want to try to go straight from like an off-season cycle right into a prep, because that's a long time of being on.
Okay.
So you would normally want to do like an off cycle, and then you would PCT, let your hormones get back to normal, and then do a cut for a show.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
But a cut for a show for me is only 8 to 10 weeks long, and I can run a cycle for 20.
Okay.
So that's 10 weeks of bulking, 10 weeks of cutting.
Damn.
So everyone's different. Some guys need like 12 weeks to cut. When I was natural, I did cuts in 6 to 8 weeks.
When you're cutting, are you slowly kind of scaling back your diet, or are you making dramatic changes?
It's just it's really not even that much of a change in calories. It's just up in my cardio.
Okay.
If I start doing cardio, I lose weight like crazy.
Okay. You doing like stair stepper shit, or just
Stairmaster, big one. Incline walks on treadmills.
Yeah. But I hated cardio.
Yeah.
Still hate cardio.
I still hate it. Yeah. I only do it for bodybuilding.
Yeah. Someone made a great point. I forget who it was. That as an athlete, cardio, the sports I was in specifically, cardio was always a punishment.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's where, and that clicked with me 100% when I remember hearing that. Like, yeah, that's probably fucking why I don't like it. Because growing up my whole life at that point, if I was doing cardio, it's because like it was looked at as like a punishment.
Yeah. Like you messed up.
Yeah, you messed up, or it's just a thing. And like in football, it's not fucking fun. It's cardio at the end of practice. Everyone's kind of not looking forward to it, but yeah, or you are in trouble and you got to run fucking sprints.
Yep.
Whatever. It's the negative or non-enjoyable part of the sports I was in. So
that shit sucked.
I don't enjoy it.
Nope.
Even still, like, yeah, I don't know. I would much rather do, because when I would do heavy or not heavy, low weight, high rep workouts, dude, that felt like a cardio workout to me. Doing like 20 reps.
That's what I'm saying. Like I work out 6 days a week.
I'm breathing heavy.
I don't feel the need to do cardio right now.
Yeah.
It's like for what? Oh, there's your 20%.
She's still going. Oh, there we go. We can end it here, bro. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a lengthy one.
I appreciate you so much for coming on and sharing.
Dude, I appreciate you having me. This was a great opportunity. Never got to do a podcast. Finally got to do one.
Here it is, man.
Yeah.
That's a great thing too. Well, just one more thing.
Yeah, no, man. No, go for it.
I think it's cool being able to come back here and have people on like you, like around this area.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's I enjoy doing it no matter where it is, but there's people here obviously too, like every fucking city, like it just doesn't have to be LA or New York, who are definitely doing amazing things. Like that's obvious, but obviously also at the same time, like pop culture, whatever, entertainment, it's focused on those cities and the markets are way bigger there, but there's definitely a fuck ton of people here who I would love to talk to, and obviously you've been one of them, and are worthy of hearing your story, what you're going through, what you're thinking, your come up, baby.
Yeah.
And what you're doing, and yeah, man, I appreciate you so much for coming
Absolutely,
on.
bro. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad I got to be on here, and you know, I know it's still a newer thing for you, but
yeah,
you know, this is this has potential to be something, man, and I know it's, you know, you're not going to let it be a mediocre thing. You'll take it to great lengths. So I'm just glad I got to be one of the first couple people on here, and you know, when it skyrockets, I'll expect to be back. I'll expect to be back and have another conversation.
We'll have to have you back. Well, definitely sometime soon in the future, but maybe, I don't know, maybe when you're about to blow up some fucking competition.
Right before I'm about to go get my pro card or something. Yeah. Who knows?
When do you think that's going to be?
Next year. I'm shooting for next year.
We'll have you on before then.
Sweet. I like that.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you, bro.
Brother. Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
end it right there.
Sounds good.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.